That crafty veteran quarterback, Ken Stabler, is back in the Bay Area, this time in the uniform of the surprising New Orleans Saints. And this time, Stabler's coming off a razor-sharp passing performance, completing 13 of 18 passes last week as the Saints raised their record to 2-1. 11 years younger is Joe Montana of the San Francisco 49ers, and what a game he had. Montana, eluding the pass rush as he does so well, shattered the 49ers passing record that stood for 29 years as the defending Super Bowl champions won their first game and started their climb back. So today's quarterbacks, age versus youth, the Saints versus the 49ers.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the New Orleans Saints against the San Francisco 49ers.
It is overcast. We have a slight drizzle, but the field is in excellent shape here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco as the New Orleans Saints try to go 3-1 against the San Francisco 49ers, who are going to try and even it up this afternoon. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton along with Roger Staubach. And who would have figured on November 28th that the New Orleans Saints would be ahead of the Super Bowl champions? Of course, they just played 3 games, and that's part of the big story here. But the Saints are an improved team. They're confident under Bum Phillips, but no longer, Roger, is it strictly a matter of George Rogers meaning the Saints offense.
Well, you're right, Dick. If Kenny Stabler gets good protection, he can pick you apart. He had it last week against Kansas City. He'll need it again today to beat San Francisco.
Kind of early to call this a must game for the 49ers. However, if they lose this game, they're 1-3, and that would present problems. But the Saints may have some problems on defense today, facing the 49ers, who do just about everything.
Well, if you're going against the 49ers on the defensive side of the ball, they give you a lot of plays, a lot of different formations, and a lot of different people in those formations. They're very confusing. They're multiple. They've got a diverse offense, and they have a great mobile quarterback in Joe Montana that can make the big play to beat you.
And they're looking at the crowd. Too early to tell about the no-show story, but most of the people have shown up here in this stadium, which was a sellout, and a capacity listed at 61,000. The San Francisco 49ers, who have had fine support out here in the Bay Area after winning their first world championship last year, getting off to the slow start, losing the first 2 games but coming back, and now going against the New Orleans Saints as we look at the rookie Morton Anderson, who was a 4th-round draft choice from Michigan State, just came off the injured list this week. And deep for the San Francisco 49ers is a rookie Dana McLemore, number 43, and with him is Amos Lawrence, number 20. They are the deep men for the 49ers. The Saints, as you heard on the NFL Today, have played the 49ers tough the last few seasons. Last year, lost both games by a combined total of 11 points. Win could be a factor in this game, I would think, Roger.
Well, it sure can. It started to blow up a little bit. We were down on the field earlier, and it hadn't really started to blow either way, but right now it's favoring the Saints, really. It'll be towards the Saints' back.
And the kickoff by Morton Anderson into the end zone, and Lawrence is 5 yards back, and he'll sit there for the touchback. And so the San Francisco 49ers will take over, 1st and 10, and an exciting offense indeed. Joe Montana, the record-breaking quarterback last week. Jeff Moore and Earl Cooper are the running backs. Dwight Clark and Freddie Solomon are the wide receivers. Charlie Young, Lindsey Mason, and John Ayers. Quillen, Randy Cross, and Keith Fawnhorst. The strike may have helped the 49ers as far as some of their injuries are concerned, particularly Randy Cross, the right guard. At the 21st and 10, San Francisco. Cooper trying to go wide, and he's hit and gets maybe a yard on the play. Rob Nairn, the right linebacker, and Johnny Poe, the right cornerback, make the stop. On defense for the New Orleans Saints, and they go with a 3-4, Bruce Clark. Refugee from Canada, has played very well. Derlan Moore, the nose tackle, and Jim Wilkes is the right end. Ricky Jackson, the linebacker to watch. Scott Pallure playing in place of Jim Kovach, Dennis Winston, and Rob Nairn. Waymer, Poe, Gray, and Watlet in the secondary. It'll be 2nd and 9 at the 21. Here's Russ Francis, who we'll see a lot of today, in a double wing formation. The pitch to Earl Cooper. He's trying to go to the right side, and once again, he's stopped again. So the Saints pursuing very well with their linebackers. This time, Scott Pallure and Bruce Clark combined to make the stop.
We'll see a lot more of Russ Francis today than the 49er fans have seen most of the season. Charlie Young has kept him out of the lineup, but Francis is slowly moving into it to use more tight ends. In some cases, they might even have 3 tight ends in there, but a lot of times they'll have 2 with Young and Francis in the same lineup.
There is Russ Francis, who came out of retirement, was acquired in a trade from the New England Patriots. Bill Hurley is the nickel back, number 28 for the Saints at 3rd and 8. Montana to throw for the first time in the game. Has time, and the pass is dropped. Dwight Clark was defended by Russell Gary, a good hitter, a second-year strong safety. So it'll be 4th down, and the 49ers will kick. There's Russell Gary, who was a second-round draft choice last year.
That time, Clark had the first down. He got the exact yardage he needed for the first down and just dropped the football, Dick. That's something that Dwight Clark does not do very often.
Jim Miller, still the only barefooted punter in the National Football League. And deep is Jeff Groth, single safety for the Saints. A good high kick, and Groth fields it on the 32. He slips and is out of bounds at the 34. Well, that's exactly what the punter Jim Miller's been working on during the strike. He went back to his high school in Mississippi to try kicking the ball away from the safety man. 50-yard kick, 2-yard return. Saints offense, Ken Stabler, the veteran quarterback. George Rogers and Wayne Wilson, the running backs. Number 1 draft pick, Lindsey Scott. He can fly. And Jeff Groth, the wide receivers. Hobie Brenner's the tight end. And the offensive line, Dave Lafari, Brad Edelman, John Hill, Louis Oubre, and Stan Brock, who's the anchor of the offensive line. 1st and 10 at the 34 for the Saints. Stabler will be 37 years old Christmas Day. First pass to Groth. It's caught at the 42-yard line. And a gain of about 8. Eric Wright makes the stop. For the 49ers on defense, they are thin at the defensive line, and they have gone with Lawrence Pillars, normally a right defensive end at the left side, John Hardy, a second-year man at nose tackle, and Pete Kugler, also in his second year. Willie Harper, Jack Reynolds, Bob Horn, and Keena Turner, the linebackers, and the outstanding secondary. 3 of them rookies last year, Lott, Wright, and Williamson. 2nd and 2 at the 42, and George Rogers has a first down as he crosses the 45-yard line. What can we look for the Saints on offense today, Roger? What is Bum Phillips' game plan against San Francisco?
Well, the game plan, of course, is to keep the 49ers off the field, run big George Rogers as much as possible in the area 30 to 35 times a game. But we also saw something else that Bum's going to do. They figured that San Francisco wants to stop that first down run, so Kenny Stabler would throw more of the play action, the short passes on first down to keep the ball moving also. George Rogers, who carried a team record 33 times last week in the victory over Kansas City. 1st and 10 at the 47. Stabler needs time, and slipping was Lindsey Scott. Lindsey Scott, or that was Jeff Groth, fell on the turf, and the pass goes incomplete. Groth has become a favorite receiver of Stabler's, a lot in the Biletnikoff mold. He's a possession kind of receiver with good hands who gets open. He's the Biletnikoff, the Howard Twillie type guy that runs good routes, good hands, not great burning speed, but he's got a speed burner on the other side, Lindsey Scott, so they complement each other very well. Scott goes out to the right. There is Groth, who was a free agent pickup last year, originally with Miami, then picked up by Houston. 2nd down and 10. This time protection for Stabler, running out of the pressure, and the pass is intercepted. Willie Harper. Willie Harper intercepts the pass, but John Hardy, the nose tackle, came in strong on Kenny Stabler. Jack Reynolds deflected the ball, and it was picked off by Harper. Well, we talked about protection, and that's the key today for San Francisco. They have to get the ball, get on Stabler. Stabler needs that protection. This time, Stabler looks downfield. He does have the pressure up the middle, throws the ball. It's tipped by the left hand of Jack Reynolds. The ball pops up in the air. An excellent interception by Willie Harper, but the protection broke down a little bit. 49ers will take over at their 35 when we come back.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got the time, we've got the beer for what you have in mind. Oh, welcome to Miller Time. Yours and mine.
The best beer for the best time of the day. Miller High Life.
Oh, have you driven new Escort GT?
GT of the family. Now we call your kind attention to the TR-type suspension.
Excitement hasn't been neglected, cause this unit's fuel injected. 5-speed,
Never loud, never rude. Got a winning attitude.
have you driven?
New Escort GT.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Willie Harper, outstanding against the run, had a knee injury, did not take part in camp or the preseason, played for the first time against the Cardinals, and showed what he could do in pass defense. So it's 1st and 10 for the 49ers at the 35-yard line after Harper's first interception of the season. No score, first quarter. Cutting inside, Earl Cooper picks up a couple of yards. Jim Wilkes, the defensive right end, makes the stop. Earl Cooper, who's best known for his pass receiving. He's the first-round draft choice in his 3rd year from Rice. Plays better on artificial turf, but one thing he is on any turf, and that's durable.
Also, Russ Francis in there, that tight wing set. They've got 2 wide receivers to one side. Bill Walsh says Russ Francis can really block. So he's got Charlie Young and Russ Francis blocking the same side. You see a lot of runs to their side.
Clark and Solomon are both split to the left. And here comes the pressure. Montana is hit hard, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Russ Francis, as you were just talking about, and defending on the play was Dave Waymer. So there was pressure, particularly from Rob Nairn, the right linebacker, on Joe Montana.
Rob Nairn was the guy that really caused the poor pass. Dave Waymer was beat by a step by Russ Francis, but watch Nairn, number 55, come into your picture from your left side right there, bam, and that's what caused the short pass. Francis really had Waymer beat by about a step. It would have been a great catch here, but the ball was short, and thanks to Rob Nairn, it was short.
3rd and 7. We can expect a lot of blitzes on the part of the Saints, and the 49ers are ready for it. 3rd and 7. Montana steps up, and he flips it out to Jeff Moore. Jeff Moore, the running back who beat out Ricky Patton and Amos Lawrence with a 14-yard pickup. It's one of those offenses that you can't key on, the 49ers.
That's right. Here's the 3-man rush this time. They don't send a linebacker. I think to be successful today, the Saints are going to have to at least send 1 linebacker, maybe 2, to put pressure on Montana. But right there, Montana has plenty of time, steps up in the pocket, and hits 25, Jeff Moore. And again, Bill Walsh feels that they've got the old Seattle cast off. They think he's playing very well. He runs well. Excellent receiver, as he showed right there.
Played 2 years with the Seahawks. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. And Montana's going to take off. He's at the 45, and wisely steps out of bounds at the 39-yard line. He is a yard short of a first down. Joe Montana, who's #1 in the NFC in passing, who shattered the 29-year club record set by Y.A. Tittle 29 years ago with 408 yards for Joe Montana.
I tell you, Joe Montana, I really like Joe Montana. I just have a feeling when he has the football in his hands, something good's going to happen. He can run the football, and he's very accurate when he runs and throws the ball. A lot of quarterbacks can scramble, but Montana is the most accurate I've seen on the run throwing the football. 2nd and 1, and you can do a lot of things at 2nd and 1 at the 39. Pitch to Cooper. Cooper may have a first down. He had Lindsey Mason blocking for him, the former Oakland Raider, now Los Angeles Raider, and Derline Moore makes the stop on Cooper, who in 1980 led the NFC in pass receiving. And one thing about this 3-man front, the toughest thing to do is to get outside. You got linebackers that are spread out, they can pursue. You need to go inside. Earl Cooper has not been noted as a good inside runner. He runs better outside. You got to get something going up the middle before you can be successful outside.
1st and 10, and it's raining a bit harder now, and the wind kicks up as well. The ball for the 49ers at the Saints 37, no score, 9:45 remaining in the first quarter. Dwight Clark and Freddie Solomon, the wide receivers to the left. This time Montana rushed out of the pocket. Ricky Jackson's chasing him and throws the ball away. He was going for Dwight Clark, and it's out of bounds. In scores of other games, and they're finishing all over the NFL, the New York Jets came back and held on and beat the Green Bay Packers 15-13, first Packer loss of the season. The Washington Redskins, however, remain unbeaten at 4-0 as they defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 13-9. So St. Louis surprising Atlanta 23-20. In the game in Atlanta, final score in Buffalo, shutting out Baltimore. The Colts have not yet scored since coming back after the strike. And you can see the umbrellas as the fans always come prepared here in Northern California. 2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line. Montana going for Nehemiah. The pass was a little bit underthrown. Nehemiah had raced past the ball and he couldn't hold on, and Russell Gary was defending him. What a tough assignment he has.
Right. I think that ball died in the wind. Again, there was a blitz, so it was man-to-man on Nehemiah. He broke back to the corner, but it looked like the ball died in the wind. Right there, it looked like the ball was in good shape, but it died in front of Nehemiah, and he had number 20, Russell Gary, beat to the outside.
Reggie Lewis, number 98, who is the Canadian Football League's premier pass rusher, is in the ball game along with Whitney Paul, number 51 at linebacker, and Bill Hurley, a nickelback. So the Saints looking for the pass at 3rd and 10 at the 37. Montana swings it out to Cooper, and Cooper has the ball jarred. It is a completed pass, and the ball at the 35-yard line. Ricky Jackson makes the stop on Cooper. So it's 4th down for the 49ers. And Jim Miller is in to punt. How will the wind and the rain affect both sides' strategy at this point, Rob?
Well, the rain normally isn't a major problem. Quarterbacks are used to a wet football. The wind is a factor, and I think it'll play along with the rain a negative effect on the passing game. Going with the wind, of course, is an advantage, which is very obvious, but that rain adds a dimension and a problem.
Miller's kick, and it's a short kick, and Groth lets it bounce at the 10-yard line, and the 49ers covered at the 1-yard line. The 49ers covered at the 1, and it was Dana McLemore, the rookie, makes a great play, and the Saints will have 99 yards to go when we come back.
If you want it,
I like it.
if you really like it,
I really like it.
we can help you get it. We're GMAC.
I want it.
We're GMAC Financing.
Looking for value? It's here at your GM dealer. So pick out your new GM car or truck and get GMAC financing at rates that make good sense.
Now at participating GM dealers, get low 10.9 financing on new 82 models.
We got it.
If you want to know just where you stand on all your family insurance, check with State Farm.
I'm State Farm Agent Terry Kropp. Today's changing economy is affecting a lot of people's protection. That's why families and individuals alike feel so reassured when they get the State Farm Family Insurance Checkup. It doesn't cost anything, and we'll go over your life, health, home, and car insurance. Ask a State Farm agent about the Family Insurance Checkup.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Saints have the ball at the 1-yard line, 1st and 10.
You mentioned the rain. Right now the field's in excellent shape, but with George Rogers, of course, your passing game might be slowed down. The Saints have an advantage. They have a much stronger running game with George Rogers.
2 tight ends in there, and Kenny Duckett, the lone wide receiver, number 83 to the right. Stabler going to throw from his end zone, and he's going for Brenner, and Brenner has it at the 18-yard line. A fine catch by the tight end, second-year player from USC. Dwight Hicks makes the tackle. So Stabler going in the end zone gets 17 yards on the pass play.
You know, he's very tightly covered by Wright this time and Hicks. But King Hill, here's Stabler throwing the ball. It's out to Brenner, but King Hill says Stabler just constantly amazes him by putting the ball where it's catchable by the offensive receiver, even though he's covered, and there was a good example of it right there.
One of the most accurate passes you'll ever see, Ken Stabler. 1st and 10 at the 17 now. Stabler looking and gets it out to Rogers. Rogers at the 20, loses the ball out of bounds. Saints still have it, but they're inside the 20-yard line, and Bobby Leopold made quite a hit on George Rogers. Kenny Stabler, as Bill Walsh told us yesterday, the quickest release.
There's 52. Leopold, watch him punch this ball right here, knocked it out with his helmet. His helmet actually knocked the ball to the sidelines, and it was knocked out all the way out of bounds. Safe play for the Saints.
There's Bobby Leopold, and situation substitutions on every down for the 49ers. Rogers rarely is used as a pass receiver. 2nd and 8 now. 9.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. No score. The ball at the 19-yard line. Stabler under pressure. He's going for Brenner. He's got it. Hobie Brenner, the big tight end, has a first down on a big gainer at the 44-yard line. He's a big player, but he shows mobility on the 25-yard pickup.
Who says the snake can't scramble? That was the blitz that time. And again, here's 55 Horn, and there's 64 Reynolds coming up the middle. That's an inside blitz by the inside linebacker. Stabler goes to the outside. Willie Harper is out there, number 59, but Stabler throws the ball left-handed back across his body, and Hobie Brenner with the good hands. He's a former basketball player, a great basketball player, and pulls it in.
1st and 10 at the 44. Hickson Williamson made the play. Here's George Rogers. Gets by one tackler and is at the 47-48 yard line, where the tackle is made by Jack Reynolds, the middle linebacker. And Reynolds is going to have the kind of a game he likes on the I formation going against Rogers. He's from the old middle linebacker school, one-on-one.
The inside situation by number 64 is really important from that I formation. He's got a lot of responsibility. He and Horn both have played the inside very well. Horn was an old 4-3 middle linebacker, but in the inside with the help of Reynolds, he's actually resurrected himself and is playing well also.
Fred Dean in there at defensive end at 2nd and 6. And here's Rogers, has a first down as he slides forward to the 42-yard line of San Francisco. Jack Reynolds again makes the stop. Reynolds was 35 on Monday, and George Rogers, who was the leading rusher last year.
I like what the Saints are doing right now. The Saints are throwing the ball on first down. That was a 2nd down situation. They brought in 4 defensive linemen, getting ready for the pass, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. And Kenny runs the ball. George Rogers up the middle. Good yardage, first down.
At the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. No score. Saints coming in with a 2-1 record. The Niners 1-2. Out of the I, the up back is Wayne Wilson, and a play action. And they go out to Wilson. Good receiver. Wilson trying to cut inside at the 35-yard line and close to a first down. Eric Wright makes the tackle on Wayne Wilson, who gained 138 yards against the Bears in Rogers' absence. He's in his 4th year out of Shepherd.
Here's the play. It's a safe play. Stabler's looking downfield. If the guy's wide open, he'll throw it downfield. He's looking down, keeps the linebackers back. Number 52 was held back that time. Bobby Leopold. He hit the ball to Wilson. Wilson caught it for the first down, or the second and about a yard. Wayne Wilson's good receiver and a good runner.
Dean comes out of the game for San Francisco. Jimmy Rogers, number 41, is in, giving George Rogers a breather. 2nd and 1 at the 33. And here is Wayne Wilson, dives for the first down inside the 30-yard line. Jack Reynolds makes the stop, and the Saints are moving. In other games around the NFL, we showed you some of the final scores. The New England Patriots surprised Houston 29-21 this afternoon. Oakland 17-13, and that is not a correct score. We'll have it fixed up for you. Minnesota over Chicago 35-7. Tommy Kramer, 5 touchdown passes today. And we'll get a correction on the Oakland-Cincinnati score. 1st and 10 Saints at the 30. 31-17 was the final, Cincinnati. Here is Jimmy Rogers from Oklahoma to the 22-yard line. Picks up good yardage. Jimmy Rogers plays only when he spells George Rogers. No relation. Jack Reynolds, Dwight Hicks make the tackle. Cincinnati Bengals defeat Oakland, or the Los Angeles Raiders that should be, and that's the first loss of the year for the LA Raiders.
Got 2 tight ends in the game right now, Dick. Larry Hardy and Hobie Brenner are both in the football game, and into a running situation.
2nd and 2, and here's Jimmy Rogers following Wayne Wilson's block, and Rogers has a first down inside the 20-yard line. Fred Dean, who is gaining a lot more respect as a run defender, makes the stop on Rogers. There's Fred Dean, who played 70% of the time on defense last week against the Cardinals, even though he doesn't start. Bum Phillips, in his 2nd year with the Saints, he's developing a tremendous esprit de corps on this ball club. He can motivate him.
He really has. You see it on defense. When the team has confidence in the coach and what he's trying to do, you see it on defense. And the Saints have played good football the last couple of weeks.
George Rogers back in the game, a tailback, and Rogers carries inside the 20-yard line to the 18. 3:45 remaining in the first quarter. And Bum Phillips told us yesterday that, he says, the Saints have to control the ball to have a shot at beating the 49ers, and they've done that so far in the first quarter.
Yeah, there's Bum, and I say the last couple of weeks, I guess it's the first quarter, and last week anyway, they played a great game against Kansas City, and Bum yesterday wasn't as jovial as he normally is. With that 2-1 record right now, maybe he's a little tense, but he's a He's got a great sense of humor about him, but he's kind of tense yesterday.
He's amongst the elite now. Now he can be tense like those others. Milt McCall is in there at linebacker for the 49ers. George Rogers, burst off tackle, gets inside the 10-yard line, and Fred Dean makes the shoe top tackle. George Rogers, who returned to the lineup after the strike 6 to 8 pounds heavier, but last week in a big 14-yard gain, as he seems to have been shaken up coming out of the game, cut inside and had a fine run against Kansas City.
They took him out a little bit earlier. That was there wasn't a reason for it particularly. He might have been banged up a little bit. Now for sure he's banged up. They can't lose George Rogers today.
Oki Gajan, number 46, replaces Rogers, a tough runner from LSU, injured last year. It's 3rd and 1. Ball at the 8-yard line. This is the first 3rd down attempt by the Saints. And Jimmy Rogers dives forward, and it'll be close. He had to get to the 7-yard line. And this could be an important measurement. Referee is Jim Tunney. And a first down for the Saints, and a big one. So the Saints have 1st and 10 and 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Do a lot of clubs have different kind of plays inside the 20, getting close to the goal line, all of them?
You get inside the 20-yard line, your defensive change, you see a lot more blitz, so teams try to take advantage of the changes on defense by putting in different offensive plays, and they, in the 49ers case, I know they have a completely different offense. I'm sure the Saints have some special plays down there also.
1st and goal at the 7. Penalty markers are down, and Wayne Wilson carries off the right tackle. Illegal motion against the Saints. So it'll be 1st and goal at the 12. Last week, when Tampa Bay outplayed Dallas, the Buccaneers had problems getting the ball in and jarring it in when they got close. And this is really, Roger, an important drive for the Saints.
It is. The situation right now to make a mistake right here is even more critical. It kind of legal motion, number 41, which in this case was Jimmy Rogers. It gives that defense time to kind of regroup a little bit also, because the Saints have driven the ball down their throat. They've hit the key passes when they've had to. Now they've set back a little bit. It's a psychological advantage for the defense to get a penalty like this.
Lindsey Scott and Kenny Duckett wide to the right. 1st and goal at the 12. Wayne Wilson stopped at the 10-yard line. Gain of 2. Pete Kugler, number 67, who started the game at right defensive end in his 2nd year from Penn State, made a good play. Kugler backed up Matt Millen. He was a defensive and offensive lineman at Penn State.
This is where the big tight ends with the good hands come in handy, the Hobie Brenners of the league, the guys that can hang on to that ball in traffic. I'd say he'd be a good target for a touchdown pass around this time, especially on 2nd down. They've got to throw the football there, I think.
George Rogers and Wayne Wilson, the backfield. 2nd and 10. Stabler. Touchdown, Saints, for Wayne Wilson. And the New Orleans Saints have taken the lead on the San Francisco 49ers on a Ken Stabler to Wayne Wilson touchdown pass.
Stabler is looking out to his right this time. He had Hobie Brenner go into the corner, and he was looking for Brenner back to the corner. Watch him spin around. Look out that way. He's covered. Comes back as a secondary receiver. Wilson, who we mentioned, is an excellent running receiver. Bum Phillips really likes Wayne Wilson and his diversity as far as their offense is concerned.
10-yard touchdown strike for Kenny Stabler, who threw 1 touchdown pass last week, and this caps a 99-yard drive. Tony Frisch with the conversion is up and good, and so with 1 minute and 29 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter in rainy San Francisco, the Saints lead the 49ers 7-0.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours, and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got the time, we've got the beer for what you have in mind. Oh, welcome to Miller Time. Yours and mine.
The best beer for the best time of the day. Miller High Life.
Introducing the totally new 1983 Toyota Tercel. Its front-wheel drive is only the tip of the iceberg. This Tercel is the lowest-priced Toyota you can buy. It has more room than any other subcompact and gives you more mileage than ever before. The new Toyota Tercel. It's a new standard in front-wheel drive, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, what a feeling.
Tercel.
Here's Stabler. Now watch his eyes. The defensive secondary is looking at his eyes. He's looking over to the corner to Brenner. Comes back late. And Keena Turner is beat by Wayne Wilson to the inside. Excellent catch. And it's a tough throw across his. He's really throwing to his left as a left-handed passer. And that's a tough throw.
Second touchdown reception of the year. Morton Anderson kicking off deep in the end zone. And Amos Lawrence fields it there. And so the 49ers will take over on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. So a 99-yard drive by the team that said they needed ball control this afternoon against the 49ers, and the New Orleans Saints are in front 7-0. Bill Walsh told us yesterday, he says, if the Saints trail 14-0, or if the 49ers trail, they could be in deep trouble.
Well, if George Rogers comes back, 99 yards, as you mentioned, too, 7 minutes and 46 seconds, Dick. They threw the ball in first down mainly and ran George Rogers until he was hurt on those second and passing situations. Good game plan, good strategy. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Earl Cooper breaks a couple of tackles and gets to the 27-yard line. Gain nearly of 8 yards on the play. Randy Cross, the right guard, who's made a remarkable recovery from an accident on Memorial Day. He had torn ligaments and a fractured ankle. Cross, number 51, came back and played every play in the first 2 games, but really wasn't 100%. The strike really helped Randy Cross because now he is perhaps at his best peak shape. 2nd and 3. Ball at the 27. Nairn trying to get to Montana. Montana finds Dwight Clark. And Clark has a first down and a fumble on the play. 49ers. You're going to whistle it dead.
Will have the ball, you're right. Saints thought they had it. Frank Watlett had grabbed the ball and was heading downfield. But the 49ers maintain possession to first down. Ricky Jackson the tackle. 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Still raining here in San Francisco, where the field conditions have been a little slippery, but certainly better than they were last year, when that was one of the big stories in the games played out here. Final seconds tick off, and that is the end of the first quarter here in San Francisco. The New Orleans Saints, with a 99-yard drive, lead the 49ers 7-0.
This place is real special. We wouldn't trade one of our days up here for anything, except maybe for one of our nights.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours, and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got the time, we've got the beer for what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
The best beer for the best time of the day. Miller High Life.
Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got the time, we've got the beer for what you have in mind. Oh, welcome. You know you're welcome. Welcome. Everybody's welcome. Welcome to Miller Time. Yours and mine.
Jackie Stewart, consultant to the Ford Motor Company.
Ford are just entering a new era, stepping over a new threshold altogether in engineering. You've got more innovation, microchip electronics, you've got handling, you've got aerodynamics. I think America is in the threshold of a completely new era of technology.
And Ford has it now.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Miller High Life. Welcome to Miller Time.
This is Dick Stockton and Roger Staubach here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. You can see how heavy the rain is. It is chilly, but not that cold today. And, of course, as the game develops, the field conditions could be the prime thing.
Well, this field is in great shape right now. There's not any really mud spots on the field. So right now the turf, the footing is good, and the wind has died down a little bit, which is a positive thing, but the rain has increased, so it could be a factor before the day is over.
1st and 10 at the 33 for the 49ers. Jeff Moore, number 25, and Earl Cooper, 49, are the running backs. And Montana with a deep drop. And on a screen pass up the middle of Cooper. Cooper to the 40-yard line and to the 44. And a first down for San Francisco. Derland Moore, the nose tackle on the 12-yard gain, makes the stop.
Well, Montana is in a deep set this time. He's way back there and drops the ball off very quickly for the screen. And in fact, the defensive lineman didn't have much of a chance to get back to him. He threw that ball a little premature. Good block on Jackson right there by Randy Cross, and Cooper gets the first down. Cooper is a good receiver coming out of that backfield, whether it's screens or play-action passes.
Ronaldo Nehemiah, number 83, who Bill Walsh says 1 year from now really will be a superb player, is in motion. 1st and 10 at the 45. They know he's got speed. They're going to try and take advantage of it. But here they take advantage of Dwight Clark, who has it in a first down inside the 40-yard line. And the free safety, Frank Watlett, makes the tackle on the leading pass receiver in the NFL, Dwight Clark.
The formation, Clark was inside, and Nehemiah went in motion to the right, and he just cleared out. Clark broke underneath him, out to the outside, and got behind Dave Waymer, number 44, and pulled the ball in. Of course, Nehemiah cleared everyone out of there as far as the deep people, and Clark got behind Waymer for the first down.
17-yard gain. Dwight Clark, who caught 6 passes for over 100 yards. He's caught over 100 yardage in every game so far this year. 1st and 10 now for the 49ers at the Saints 38. In motion again, Nehemiah. Montana look for the screen, and Dave Waymer. Pass interference as he was all over the back of Dwight Clark.
Well, Waymer hits him before the ball gets there, but this is a route where you're going downfield, make a little move to the outside. He sees Montana in trouble right here. Montana was trying to go to Ronaldo Nehemiah going across the other way. He doesn't come back far enough, but he's hit from behind. It's a good call. It's interference.
Waymer in his 3rd year is the most experienced of the Saints secondary players. He's out of Notre Dame. It is a young secondary on both sides, with Dwight Hicks in his 4th year, the senior member of the 49ers quartet in the backfield. 1st and 10 at the 28 now for San Francisco. Saints lead the Niners 7-0 here, early 2nd quarter. Montana looking for Solomon. Will go to Charlie Young, the tight end, and will pick up a couple. More than a couple, give him 6 yards. Scott Pallure, number 53, makes the tackle. So our first look at Charlie Young, the tight end, who has fended off Russ Francis as the starter for the 49ers. Charlie Young, acquired in trade from the Rams. His 10th year from Southern California. Russ Francis in the game now, replacing Young. Solomon split wide right. Clark to the left, 2nd and 4. Here comes the safety blitz, and this pass almost intercepted. It was intended for Earl Cooper, and Scott Pallure almost picked it off for New Orleans. Pallure was originally drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. He was a 4th-round pick and was dropped, and the Saints picked him up on waivers last year. His brother Steve is the starting quarterback for the University of Washington Huskies. Bill Walsh, and we talked to him yesterday, and he is a renaissance man, to say the least.
I believe so. I think he and Bum both have similarities. They handle personnel very well. Different offensive minds, though. Bum is more conservative. Bill Walsh is wide open.
3rd and 4, and here comes the safety blitz again. And Earl Cooper was wide open. The pass overthrown, and Montana says if I get the ball to Cooper, it's an easy touchdown.
They've been looking for this play inside that 25-yard line. We talked to Sam Weiss, and again, when they blitz those safeties, Cooper is blocking inside. Watching number 49. He's blocking right here. Number 53 has him, but he thinks he's going to block, so he continues to come. Cooper's wide open, and of course Montana overthrew it. They've been waiting for that play. Russell Gary was the safety that blitzed, that set it up, but the ball was overthrown.
That's the second straight play that Russell Gary was blitzing from strong safety. And so now a field goal attempt by Ray Wershing, who's 2 for 5. Ordinarily an accurate kicker. Montana holding a 40-yard attempt by Wershing, and this kick is good. So Ray Wershing, whose longest kick was 36 yards coming into this game, boots a 40-yarder, and the 49ers are on the board. 12:23 remaining in the second quarter. The Saints still lead.
What you're about to see is the total car. Introducing a new generation American sedan. Reshaped inch by aerodynamic inch. Refined. Totally redesigned from the ground up with new gas-filled shocks. Introducing new Ford LTD, the total car. Now appearing at your Ford dealer.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
It's going to be a great trip. Hi. Ooh, hey, hi. Hi.
No matter where people go, Conoco helps them get there. Our motor oils protect trucks over the long haul and farm equipment against the worst conditions.
Have a good trip.
A Conoco lubricant even protects the space shuttle. We use the same technology to make super and all-season motor oils for your car. Conoco, hottest brand going.
Next Saturday, it's one of college football's greatest traditions, the Army-Navy game. Be a part of the classic next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Ray Wershing will kick off for the 49ers. They went 57 yards in 8 plays, capped by Wershing's 40-yard field goal, and the score 7-3. Deep, Wayne Wilson and Andre Thompson also back there for the Saints. There's Andre Thompson, who a wide receiver. Green Bay and San Diego. Seems to be finding a home here, although he hasn't been in action yet in this game. So Wershing kicking off. 12:23 remaining in the first half. And Thompson, 4 yards in the end zone, is told by Wilson to take it easy. They'll have the touchback. And the Saints will take over 1st and 10 on their 20-yard line. Saints are second in rushing in the National Football League, 11th in the pass. And they went on a 99-yard drive. We want to apologize for having the wrong city for the Raiders before. Cincinnati defeating the Los Angeles Raiders 31-17 in a game played earlier in the day at Cincinnati. So the Bengals now 3-1 and the Raiders also 3-1. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Saints. Out of their familiar I formation. Nothing fancy for New Orleans. Nothing fancy when George Rogers carries, and he gets a yard at best. John Hardy, but first it was Fred Dean who made the stop on him. And the 49ers really missed Dwayne Board, and that can't be emphasized enough, Roger.
Well, Dwayne Board is missed by the entire team, and Fred Dean misses him also. With Board in there last year, they had that extra man, that extra dimension. The pass rush gave Dean the opportunity to get in there also. Now they're double teaming Dean, so he's not having the kind of year he had last year, and it probably has something to do with Dwayne Board.
49ers are 4-22 without Dwayne Board, 18-7 with him, so he does make a difference. 2nd and 8. George Rogers going outside. Wayne Wilson trying to block, and he cuts in beautifully. He is shy of a first down by about a yard, but George Rogers, on what is now slippery turf, made a fine cut inside against the grain, and a good block by the tight end Hobie Brenner, tackled by Bob Horn.
Well, the last drive we saw the Saints had, it was a textbook drive, 99 yards. They threw the ball on first down a lot in that drive. Now they're coming out running the ball on first down. I like the idea of throwing the ball on first down against the 49ers, keeping them loose.
Rogers has gained 35 yards and 7 carries. It'll be 3rd and 1 now for Kenny Stabler. George Rogers, over 1,600 yards last season. 2 tight ends, and the flip to Rogers. And he slipped short of a first down. He got tripped up. Calvin Williamson makes the tackle. And I'm not sure whether Rogers slipped on his own or when someone tripped him up. It'll be 4th down nonetheless.
We'll get a chance to see this. Carlton Williamson, number 27, snuck in there. We'll see if he gets a hand on George Rogers. Right there, Wayne Wilson's blocking. There's Wayne, well, it was his right foot. Tripped him up with his right foot, which he was blocked by Wilson. but he stuck that right foot out there, so I would say that was a good play on Williamson's part.
Russell Erxleben, who struggled, former #1 draft choice when he came to New Orleans, and now they say Erxleben for president because of his stand during the strike, will be punting from the 20-yard line. Triple safeties for the 49ers, and deep is Freddie Solomon. Good high kick. Good coverage here, and a fair catch called for by Solomon, who makes a diving catch at the 30-yard line. So we have a timeout. The 49ers lead, or trail, 7-3.
Pawlatuck, the Arctic Circle. The winters can be 10 months long and 50 below. So people stay home and watch a lot of TV. Maybe that's why the Takiak family chose the only TV to win an Emmy for its beautiful picture, the Sony Trinitron. But maybe the Takiaks chose a Sony because the nearest TV repairman is 250 miles away.
GMC's economical S15, our new small truck, has some news that's definitely big. The new GMC S15 Club Coupe with extra carrying space inside. Then there's the S15 Long Bed with its roomier cargo box. And the new sports-minded GMC S15 Jimmy, all available with Instatrack 4-wheel drive and V6 power. GMC's S15.
On new 82 GMC light duties, 10.9 annual percentage rate financing to qualified buyers. Take retail delivery now through December 31st.
Axor Reynolds, who came back in superb condition after the strike. He went back to his home at the Bahamas and Salvador Island and trained like a man. And well, I guess when you get to that age, you have to do it that way, Rod.
He's the only guy that dresses at his home before he comes to the stadium also.
That's a good. 1st and 10 at the 31. Montana under a lot of pressure. He's down. And it's the nose tackle Derland Moore, who is a 10-year veteran out of Oklahoma and a former 2nd-round draft choice. He's the graybeard of the Saints defense.
Saints defensive front has really put the pressure on the quarterback in Kansas City, and all during the season. You got Moore and Wilkes, and Bruce Clark's got 4.5 sacks, and that's a real positive sign. This Saint defense, I think the puzzle's starting to come together in New Orleans. Through the years, they've had their ups and downs, but Bum was putting the puzzle together. He's putting people, quality people, young people in the right positions, and defensively they're coming together pretty darn solid right now.
2nd and 15. Reggie Lewis, number 98, is in the game now. In motion goes Earl Cooper, and the handoff inside to Moore, and Moore is stopped by Derland Moore. Other games in the National Football League as we keep you up to date. San Diego blew a 24-0 lead to the Los Angeles Raiders on Monday. Lead Denver 10-3 in the 2nd quarter of their game. Kansas City over the LA Rams 7-0 as the Rams continue to struggle. 2nd quarter there, and Seattle has a 3-0 lead over the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2nd quarter at the King Dome. Frank Warren, number 73 in his 2nd year from Auburn, who played more last year than he has this season, is in the lineup. 3rd and 12. Bill Hurley, nickel back. In motion, Nehemiah. Nehemiah takes off downfield, and this time the pass is thrown to Dwight Clark. It was a low pass, and Clark couldn't hold on, so it'll be 4th down. But I'll tell you one thing, Roger, I see Nehemiah really going downfield. One of these plays, he's going to get free.
He's breaking down. He's the deep threat. He's got they're throwing the ball deeper now on account of the speed of Nehemiah, and also the Saint front four. This time Reggie Lewis comes in as a pass rusher, and they put pressure on Montana. That makes a big difference. That ball was not well thrown.
Clark and Lewis have really given the Saints a terrific pass rush that they didn't have before. Jim Miller punting. He's got the wind at his back, and Jeff Groth calls for a fair catch at the 27-yard line. 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and a penalty flag is down. So following the 44-yard punt, we'll see what the penalty is. Groth had the fair catch at the 27. Basically, it's been a penalty-free ball game. An illegal block against the Saints. Illegal use of the hands on the return. Referee, the veteran Jim Tunney. Pat Harder, the umpire. Sid Seaman, the head linesman. Boyd Smith, the line judge. Pat Knight is the back judge. Gil Mace, the side judge, and the field judge today is Johnny Greer.
I heard Jim Tunney speak the other night at the dinner in Dallas, the aerobics dinner, and boy, he's a great speaker and a great NFL referee. We'll hear him say a few words now.
And the penalty is called against Bill Hurley. for the Saints. So the Saints will just have to start their drive back at the 17-yard line with 8.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Of all the economy cars in America, many have front-wheel drive traction. But of all those front-wheel drive cars, only these 4 have a flat engine profile with an extremely low center of gravity for outstanding handling and traction. And every single one of them is a Subaru. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Pure and natural wine. Reunity on ice. Reunity so nice. Reunity. Reunity, it tastes so light. Reunity so refreshing and bright. Reunity on ice. Reunity so nice. Reunity, reunity.
This game has been played under a steady rain, overcast. The lights have been on since the top. That's how much time remaining in the first half, with New Orleans leading San Francisco 7-3, and the old snake Kenny Stabler, 13th year out of Alabama, who played 10 great seasons with the Oakland Raiders when they were the Oakland Raiders. Going deep this time for Andre Thompson, and it's incomplete. Andre Thompson, he spells his name A-N-D-R-U-A, but it's pronounced Andre. Eric Wright and Dwight Hicks combining to stop Thompson in his 6th year, who last year was a lost soul with New Orleans. He played with 3 teams. He was really with 3 teams in 5 days, with the Packers, San Diego, and the Saints in the John Jefferson West Chandler trades. But this year, he found a home. He's smiling more, and Bum Phillips says he's got a lot of plans for Thompson.
He's a Dallas product, by the way.
2nd and 10 at the 17. Stabler off to another fine accuracy day. Rodgers outside, runs over 2 or 3 tacklers and gets to the 21. He did most of that on his own. So George Rodgers. Now last year the Saints would have given the ball to Rodgers at least 4 or 5 more times at this stage, but you can see with Stabler and the more diversified offense they have with Kenny, as Rodgers goes off the field now. Kenny Duckett, number 83, comes in as a wide receiver. 3rd and 7 now. Willie Harper comes out, as does John Hardy, and Jeff Stover, number 72, comes in now in the line for the 49ers. 3rd and 6. 3 wide receivers in there for the Saints. Stabler under pressure, fires, almost intercepted by Eric Wright. He was in a wrestling match for the ball with Lindsey Scott, and Wright might have had a better beat on the ball.
That was close right there. Lindsey Scott would not have got the first down if he was brought down right at the spot he caught the ball. But Eric Wright, the ball was thrown a little bit behind Scott. Eric Wright did get a hand on it, almost made the interception. Here's Stabler thrown to Scott. Scott coming to the inside. The ball's a little bit to the outside, and Wright had a good chance for the interception.
It's 4th down with 7:36 showing on the clock. With a lot of speed, the number 1 draft choice, Lindsey Scott, who has a world of talent. And now Erxleben will kick from the 6-yard line.
The one thing you appreciate in a receiver is if you see that ball's not coming to you, don't give up because you're not going to catch the ball. Make sure the other guy doesn't catch it, and Scott did a pretty good job that time.
Freddie Solomon is in the middle. He's the deep man for the 49ers, and Solomon at 3 with a 12-yard return by Freddie Solomon following the 46-yard punt. And we'll be back to Candlestick.
Used to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Congratulations, you coached a pretty mean game.
Well, I had a pretty good teacher.
Did it teach you the part about the winning coach buying the Lowenbrow?
You got it.
Give me 10 minutes. I gotta go yell at my players.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
So tell me, what'd you say to your teacher?
Told him we were out-coached.
You can get a Subaru hatchback with either front-wheel drive or on-demand 4-wheel drive. Either way, the most important drive they put you on is in economy drive, with low sticker prices and the kind of mileage that lets you feed your family instead of your car. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Tuesday on CBS, a beautiful agent and a sadistic prison warden turn the tables on Frank Buck.
Now you're the hunted, Mr. Buck.
Bring 'em back alive.
49ers trailing 7-3, have it 1st and 10 on their 44-yard line. Dick Stockton and Roger Staubach here at Candlestick Park in the rain. 7:24 remaining in the first half. Solomon and Clark out to the left, and Moore, the running back, fumbles, and the Saints have recovered. Ricky Jackson recovers the fumble by Jeff Moore. And New Orleans has the ball in San Francisco territory at the 49. Yet Bum Phillips with the fist saying, way to go.
Ricky Jackson's the outside linebacker, number 57. Watch him at the bottom of your camera now. He's blitzing on the play. He gets knocked off right here, but number 44 comes in, knocks the ball out. Dave Waymer knocks the ball out of Jeff Moore's hand, and then Jackson alertly comes back and picks it up.
So the Saints have it when we come back.
Nikon introduces a new 35mm camera so revolutionary 55,000 were sold before they were even built. It uses optics so superior they flew aboard Columbia. It operates automatically, semi-automatically, or manually. It measures light a completely new way for better flash pictures. It's so incredible it can even wake you up in the morning. Introducing the programmed Nikon FG, the ultimate 35mm camera.
If you think the U.S. ski team works hard in the winter, you should see how they spend their summers. We're Subaru, official car of the U.S. ski team. And thanks to on-demand four-wheel drive, we keep pace with them every step of the way. In fact, this team is no place for anyone or anything that doesn't have a lot of drive. Subaru, official car of the U.S. ski team.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line following the fumble recovery by Ricky Jackson. Saints lead at 7-3. Kenny Stabler, George Rogers. Rogers gets a good block and barrels up to the 42-yard line before Eric Wright makes the tackle. Stan Brock with a fine play. Now you're looking at Bill Walsh and Bum Phillips, different styles as we told you, but one thing is that they are in charge and the players like the coaches.
They do. They can handle their personnel very well. Bum, of course, he's a motivator. He gets a lot out of his people, and again, as I mentioned, he's starting to put a puzzle together in New Orleans. It's been there a long time. The Saints have had their problems. He's starting to get the personnel to work for him, and he's getting good personnel, good young people in there,
Second
and some
and 4.
experience also.
At the 43, Rogers breaks a couple of tackles, and George Rogers may be off. He's being chased by Willie Harper. And Harper with a few members of the secondary. Dwight Hicks and Eric Wright. Tackle George Rogers inside the 5-yard line as Rogers busts one.
Rogers is either winded. I think it's just winded down there. He looks okay.
38-yard pickup by George Rogers, and it's 1st and goal for the Saints.
This is the I formation with Wayne Wilson blocking ahead. There's a big hole up the middle. Good blocking by John Hill and Louis Aubrey, and Rogers just cuts back. That's what he does well. He cuts back, and the good runners that make the big plays have that ability to cut back. He not only has the size, he's got some speed to go along with it, and finally he's brought down by 3 men on the 4-yard line.
1st and goal at the 4-yard line now. Jimmy Rogers is in the game along with Wayne Wilson. Wilson gets nothing. Rogers, by the way, has 85 yards, and he had his first 100-yard game last week. Rich Maudie, who was on injured reserve last year, is in the game as a wide receiver. As Gajan goes out, he came in for George Rogers. So it's 2nd and goal at the 2 now for the Saints. Jimmy Rogers 41, Wayne Wilson 30 are the running backs. Play action, Stabler knocked away. Hobie Brenner, the intended receiver, and Keena Turner. Keena Turner, who's got Pro Bowl ability.
Bum is yelling at right there at Keena Turner. really got faked out on the run, but he held Hobie Brenner at the line of scrimmage. He was just grabbing onto him. We can see him out there to the outside, number 58, holding on to Brenner. See, Stabler right now, Brenner can't get away. Then he finally gets away, throws it, and Keena Turner does a good job. He didn't get caught at the line of scrimmage. Of course, Bum Phillips didn't like that. He thought that he was held at the line of scrimmage.
Wilson and Rogers remain at the running backs. 3rd and goal at the 2. Saints lead at 7-3. And here's Jimmy Rogers, slices in for the touchdown.
Excellent play. Excellent play. They had the fullback going off tackle to the right. We'll get a chance to see this again.
And great blocking by Leon Gray, the veteran left tackle, and Hobie Brenner, the tight end, as Jimmy Rogers with his first touchdown.
Here's Hoagie's going off the right, Cajun right there, and of course here's Rogers coming back to the other side. Little crisscross action. They went for the fullback. Rogers broke off the outside. Good blocking by Brad Edelman, Dave LaFari, and John Hill did a good job inside on that goal line defense.
Tony Frisch.
One car maker has been quietly fulfilling a commitment. The commitment was to build the highest quality luxury cars made in America. This commitment has now been realized by Lincoln. Makers of Continental, Lincoln Town Car, and Mark VI. Lincoln, building the highest quality luxury cars made in America.
Here's to good friends. Tonight.
Hey, chicken and ribs? Chicken and ribs. Check. Steak? Check. Chili? Homemade chili. Good work.
Hey, wait a minute.
What did you bring besides your list?
Just a little something I threw together.
I should have known.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be low and proud.
Okay, everybody, let's go win this one.
Next Saturday, the Wildcats, Villanova, led by senior star John Panone, against the balanced attack of Kentucky. NCAA basketball action next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Morton Anderson will kick off NCAA basketball. And what an upset yesterday. Missouri over North Carolina. The Tar Heels 0-2. Anderson will kick off. Amos Lawrence to the right and Dana McLemore, the 10th round draft choice, to the left. Heavy rain here in San Francisco, and it's raining on the 49ers' head as Dana McLemore returns to the 35-yard line. Rich Maudie makes the stop for New Orleans. Next Saturday, it's the Army-Navy game, and I know Roger Staubach can talk volumes on that one.
Well, we don't have time to talk volumes, but that's a big one. I remember the first time I played in that game, I couldn't sleep the night before the game. The only time I've never been able to sleep the night before a football game.
Noon Eastern.
Are you interested in that?
Yes. You look like you were so cool and calm, even in your college days.
I was a nervous wreck. Big game.
And the big game continues with a great rivalry next week. 1st and 10 at the 35. Montana rushing out of the pocket. He finds Charlie Young, the tight end, who has a first down at the 46-yard line. Russell Gary, the strong safety, makes the stop on Charlie Young, who went into the game as the 2nd leading receiver for the 49ers. 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first half. 13-3 is the score. 13-3. Saints with a 99-yard drive touchdown. Stabler to Wilson, 10 yards. And then the Jimmy Rogers touchdown run, and the conversion missed. 49ers have a 40-yard field goal by Wershing. Jeff Moore gets maybe 2. Dennis Winston, the tackle. Bum Phillips has a young club, but he has several veterans that he says has enhanced the team. And one of them, of course, is Dennis Winston, who played on the winning Pittsburgh Steelers clubs.
Well, bringing winners onto a team is a big help. The offense feels Stabler has those winning characteristics also. They've got a lot of confidence in him. He had guys like Winston, and the young people they have. Rob Nairn was at Denver on a winning organization also. So they've got some winners. They've brought those qualities to the team. Plus these young players the Saints have, they don't know the difference. They just believe you have to win when you go out there.
Fumble, and Montana falls on it at the 46-yard line. And Walt Downing, who went into the game as a replacement for Fred Quillen, the regular center, made the stop. Downing in his 5th year, a 2nd-round draft choice out of Michigan. And he can play all of the offensive line positions, particularly guard and center.
You know, the 49ers seem like they're like a beat off a tempo that they had last week. They just don't have the tempo. A lot of it has to do with the Saints, though. The Saints have been bringing in Frank Warren, 73's coming in the game. They've mixed up their defensive line. A lot of pressure's been on Montana. And, of course, the turnover the last time caused the last touchdown.
3rd and 10 at the 47. Nehemiah in motion. Waymer is one-on-one with him right now. And Montana going back. He's under pressure. Joe Montana going up the middle and flips to Russ Francis. And whatever the Saints are doing on defense, the 49ers, who normally are diversified and crisp and sharp, are anything but that right now as Whitney Paul defends on the play. Coming up at halftime, we'll join Brennan Irv in New York for scores and highlights of this, the 4th weekend of the NFL season. They'll play 9 regular season games before the tournament starts, and 8 teams in each conference will qualify. So Jim Miller will punt from the 32 now. Deep is Jeff Groth. Toward the sideline and out of bounds. So no return, and the ball is out of bounds at about the 18-yard line, and we'll be back.
This is it.
Excitement.
This is your chance to get 10.9% financing on 100% pure driving excitement on all 1982 Pontiacs. 10.9% on Firebird, Pontiac 6000, T1000, Phoenix, J2000, Bonneville Model G, and Grand Prix.
Excitement.
But hurry, you must take retail delivery between now and December 31st to get this low 10.9% financing. At Pontiac, we build
excitement.
Last year, I told you that in an independent test for Best Color Picture, the Sylvania Superset beat RCA, Zenith, and Sony.
You won't beat Sony again?
Well, this year, we again asked over 1,000 people which 19-inch TV had the best overall color picture. And more of them picked the Sylvania Superset over RCA and Zenith.
You didn't beat Sony again.
And over Sony, too. The Sylvania Superset.
2:53 remaining in the first half. Saints are leading 13-3. Bill Walsh trying to find the answer here. Jim Stuckey, number 79, who did not start because of a hip pointer, is in at left defensive end. And here's Jimmy Rogers. Penalty marker is down. Rogers dives forward to the 20, and there's another flag. And now the 49ers are signaling that they recovered a fumble, but the officials say no. Ronnie Lott and the nose tackle John Hardy make the tackle. George Rogers, shaken up early, came back though and had a brilliant 38-yard run. Penalty is 12 men on the field. 12 men on the field against San Francisco. 3 players came on right before the 49ers and the Saints ran that last play, and so the Niners are called for too many men on the field.
I saw that 4-man front, then Milton McCall came on the field, number 53, and he became the 12th man.
Defense, still first down.
So now it's 1st and 5 for the Saints at the 23-yard line.
I guess you can stop George Rogers with 12 men. They're trying to use the 4-man front now to stop that running game.
Maybe. Saints have passed for 70 yards and rushed for 109. Big yardage edge over the 49ers. 1st and 5. Wilson to the 25. Wayne Wilson, who caught a touchdown pass. Jack Holmes was the blocking back for George Rogers last year and was really a better blocker than Wilson, but Wilson blocks more than adequately. He can catch the ball out of the backfield and is a hard runner as well. 2nd and 3, the ball at the 25-yard line. 2:20 remaining. Ken Stabler has engineered the Saints to a 13-3 lead. And here's George Rogers trying to back his way into a first down, maybe short. Needs to get to the 33. And now we'll have the 2-minute warning. It'll be 3rd and short for the Saints when we come back with 2 minutes to play in the half.
From the Golden Gate in Marin County, across the Bay Bridge in Oakland, the great city of San Francisco and the Bay Area stretches out before us. Hi, I'm Freddie Solomon of the Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. And this is my wife, Delilah.
And we're both United Way volunteers, and we know that out there in the streets and neighborhoods stretches a network of more than 200 agencies that make up the United Way.
Through agencies like the Visiting Nurse Association of San Francisco, these true angels of mercy made more than 56,000 visits, providing nursing and home health aid. As physical, occupational, and speech therapists, they help all the people of the Bay Area.
They are part of what makes San Francisco a true city of champions.
Thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding message was brought to you by the National Football League. Bill Walsh on the headset. It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Saints at their own 27-yard line. And the Saints have done what Bum Phillips wanted to do, Roger, control the ball in this first half.
They've had, of course, the 99-yard drive and also the big run by Rodgers after the recovered fumble. It's been all Saints, basically, other than one field goal by the 49ers.
3rd and 1. And play action pass, fake to George Rodgers, and Stabler is going for Wayne Wilson, and it's out of bounds. Lawrence Pillars put on a good rush on Stabler, and Ron Ferrari, a rookie from Illinois, a linebacker, was covering Wilson downfield. So it's 4th down. Surprised at that call, Roger.
Well, they were going for the 3rd and 2. They were looking for the Saints, of course, that a big man Pillars right there put the pressure on Stabler, but the Saints were thinking they're going to really bottle up Rodgers, go for the play action. That was a big first down. That gives the 49ers a chance to get back in the game. They'll have good field position to do it.
Erxleben will punt, and it remains to be seen whether the 49ers can capitalize. Don't forget they have all of their first downs. Freddie Solomon is back at the 32-yard line. He's got McLemore and Amos Lawrence up front. That snap bounced on the turf, but a good kick nonetheless by Erxleben. And Solomon at the 33 is dropped right there. Andre Thompson with a good coverage on the play, and a penalty marker is down way back at the 30-yard line. 45-yard punt, but let's see, and illegal receiver downfield. So the 49ers will undoubtedly want the Saints to kick over.
I'd make him kick it again.
So we'll keep in mind now the ball was at the 33 before the penalty. That's where the 49ers would have taken over on their own 33. And we'll see what the net result is here.
Field early.
Whitney Paul.
5 yards, still 4th down.
Whitney Paul, the guilty party. So now Erxleben will have to move back. 49ers still go with Solomon in the middle. Dwight Hicks now and Dana McLemore.
Erxleben was really getting a lot of height on the ball. He's getting the chance for those receivers, those outside guys that are covering the kicks, the receivers like Thompson, chance to get down underneath the football to keep San Francisco bottled up.
Erxleben will kick from the 6. 1:45 showing on the clock. The 49ers have all of their timeouts remaining. End over end kick. Hicks at the 39. Hicks still going. Penalty flag is down as Hicks gets to the 46-yard line. A 13-yard difference from the first kick before the penalty. Jim Peterzak makes the play. Let's see what we have here.
No foul on the play. 1st down, San Francisco.
The flag was inadvertently thrown. There's no penalty. So it'll be 1st down. So a 13-yard net gain by the 49ers as a result of the penalty. And they'll have the ball at the 46-yard line with 1:34 remaining. Eason Ramson, the 3rd-string tight end, is wide to the right. 49ers trailing 13-3, and Ransom comes in motion. And here's Jeff Moore outside. Moore is stopped short of midfield by Dave Waymer, who forced from the left cornerback position. How many new pass plays in the 49er repertoire this week?
Well, the 49ers have a total of about 80 pass plays on their game plan, which is amazing. That's just if you're going to the right. If you go to the left, it's double that. So they've got a bunch of plays in there. As far as new plays, they've probably got 10 to 12 new situations.
2nd and 9 at the 48-yard line. In motion, Earl Cooper way outside. Solomon lining up to the right. And pressure on Montana, and down he goes. And a safety blitz, and Russell Gary came in. So the 49ers, who were hoping that the Saints would blitz so they could take advantage of a long gainer with some of their speedsters, have been unable to pick up the blitz.
Well, Russell Gary did an excellent job that time. Randy Cross, number 51, tried to pull it out, but he was late. And Russell Gary, for the 3rd time today, has blitzed and has caused trouble twice.
San Francisco timeout. They've got 2 to go, and want to remind you, next Saturday be courtside. NCAA basketball. 2 of the top 10 ranked teams go at it. It'll be the Villanova Wildcats from the very tough Big East against the Kentucky Wildcats from Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky, and it follows the Army-Navy game tip-off 4 o'clock Eastern time on CBS Sports. It'll be 3rd down and 17 to go here. And the Saints, who last week sacked Kenny of Kansas City 6 times, they have 17 sacks in 3 games. Last year they managed only 27, so you can see how much their pass rush has improved. .56 seconds to go in the first half. Brenton Irv with the scores and highlights from most of the games completed today, coming up shortly.
This is where you get that big crossing route type play to try to get you back in the football game if you have any chance at all in this first half. And in that 18 to 20-yard area, Clark's a good receiver, as is Solomon on their deep crossing
In motion is Moore. There are 4 down linemen up front for the Saints. Rolling out is Montana, and Montana going for Dwight Clark. He has it. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Make it the 31. Hurley on the tackle. Clock stops, 47 seconds to go. First half. 39-yard game.
Clark is coming all the way across the field. Number 25, Johnny Poe's in the zone. Lets him go all the way across the zone. Montana rolls to his right and hits Clark, crossing in that 18 to 20-yard area for the first down.
29-yard gain. 29-yard for Dwight Clark as Russ Francis comes in for Charlie Young. 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 31. And what a boost it would give the 49ers to get on the board before this half is over. Montana lofts it for Francis, and he was covered well by Ricky Jackson and Dave Waymer on the play.
Well, Russell Gary, number 20, was blitzing again, but he came late. I think their signals were mixed up, and he got a late start, and Montana had plenty of time to get it out there to Francis, but he was well covered by a great athlete, Ricky Jackson. Ricky's a good tackler, good blitzer from that linebacker position, and he can cover those receivers.
In his 2nd year from the University of Pittsburgh, the 49ers face with a 2nd and 10. 43 seconds remain in the first half. Reggie Lewis, Derlan Moore, Tony Elliott, and Frank Warren are up front for the Saints. Number 1 in the NFC on defense, and they chase Montana. Incomplete. They were going for Nehemiah. Gary was defending on the play. And one thing, the offensive line, and this Nehemiah for the 49ers, have been under siege against the blitz and the rush by the linebackers in the backs of New Orleans so far.
These Saints are possessed. That's Frank Warren, number 73, that's coming in the game. They're mixing up Reggie Lewis and Clark, Moore and Wilkes and Warren and Tony Elliott. They've got some good backup people. They're moving them in and out. And they're putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and they've also mixed up the blitz. Good defensive strategy by the Saints.
Nehemiah goes out to the left. To the right is Clark. Split backs. 3rd and 10. 36 seconds as you see in the first half. Winston shows blitz. No blitz on the play. Montana goes to Russ Francis. Francis breaks the tackle. Rob Nairn had a hand on him, but Scott Pallure finally was there to make the play. And 27 seconds show on the clock. And the 49ers have called a timeout. They have 1 remaining. They are down now at the 27-yard line. Make it the 28.
Joe's going to come back and talk about it here with Bill Walsh, but that was not a particularly good play. Francis was covered. He only got 3 or 4 yards, and they need a lot more than that.
4th down and 7. Sam Weish upstairs sends the play down to Bill Walsh. Now you're looking at Solomon, Charlie Young, and Joe Montana with Walsh. It's like a mad scientist putting those X's and O's together with his offensive plan each week.
He's going over the game plan right now, looking at it, trying to pull one out of the hat. It's a big play, 4th and 7, 4th and 8. Need to come up with something. The 49ers like to pick in this situation where they have 2 wide receivers on one side, said one on a down and in, maybe to pick a linebacker and having the other guy break to the outside, and they can usually get 7 or 8 yards when they do that.
Ray Wersching will come in, presumably to attempt a field goal. He has the wind to his back. He already clicked on a 40-yarder early in the game to account for the Saints scoring. Montana will hold. It'll be a 45-yard attempt.
Just as I was saying that about the pick, I saw Wersching going on the field, so I guess he looked at field goal in his game plan.
27 seconds to go in the half. And Wersching's kick. It's good. So the 49ers come out of it with something, and 22 seconds remain in the half, and now at a 13-6, that misconversion by Frisch looms more important because the 49ers are now 1 touchdown away from tying the game.
Might have had, had to do with the decision too that time, Dick, with only 1 touchdown behind. If you make the field goal, could have been the reason they went for the field goal. Who knows? That extra point, though, you never like to mix the extra point anyway. But here's Wersching, good follow through, and he kicks that ball right through the goalpost.
Originally with San Diego, he is a certified public accountant in the offseason in San Diego. And today he's been a certified field goal kicker for the 49ers, who trail now 13-6. 22 seconds to go. Keep in mind the Saints lost twice to the 49ers last year by a combined total of 11 points. The closer of the 2 games was right here at Candlestick. Wayne Wilson and Andre Thompson. Wilson number 30. Thompson closest to you with 22 seconds, and Wersching's kick. Deep. Thompson 2 yards in, and the Saints will take the touchback. Next week in the National Football League, Minnesota goes against Miami. Dolphins are still undefeated. Minnesota with Tommy Kramer's 5 touchdown passes. 1 today over Chicago. Tampa Bay against New Orleans. The Saints leading here at 2-1 on the year. And the big rivalry, Dallas and Washington.
Well, that's a big one. Washington's 4-0 right now. Dallas is 3-1, and they'll be fighting for not only the playoffs, but that home field advantage.
You remember those games?
Well, those were bitter games and exciting games. Joe Gibbs has really brought those skins back.
Similar to Walsh with the imaginative offense in the passing game. And Stabler just holding on as the clock. Last week, Joe Montana faked one of those, kneel down, and then threw a pass which did not sit well with the St. Louis Cardinals.
No, that's kind of an unwritten law. When that quarterback goes down, you let him stay down. They were trying to get some extra points because of the tiebreaker system if there's a tie in the playoffs.
There's the gun ending the first half, and Bump Phillips is dry because he has his hat on. He also has a 13-6 lead. Brent Musburger and Irv Cross will have scores and highlights from New York when we come back.
A new form of precision is coming from Mercury. The new precision size marquee. Its lines are aerodynamically clean. Its room, comforting. And as smooth as it may look, its ride is even smoother. The new precision size marquee from Mercury. The substance shows.
It'll never work.
We're testing whether Tegrin shampoo can keep baseball star Jim Palmer's dandruff under control for 3 days. Tegrin Shake, day 1.
Looking good, so far.
Tegrin Shake, day 2.
Tegrin's still working, but the game's not over.
Yeah. Tegrin Shake, day 3.
Incredible. Tegrin did it.
All right, yeah, it works.
From now on, I'm trusting Tegrin.
Try Tegrin. It works on dandruff.
Really works.
Between shampoos.
Your business machines say a lot about the way you do business.
Quick. Right.
Canon's NP400F delivers 40 letter-size copies in a minute.
Consider it done.
Responds with reduction, even enlargement. Keeps you organized with a document feeder and optional sorter.
Attaboy.
The Canon NP400F system copier. Technology that keeps you going. Call toll-free for information or contact your authorized Canon dealer.
Next Saturday on CBS Sports, the college sports excitement continues. It starts live at 12 Eastern with the NCAA Today and Pat O'Brien's look at scholar athletes. Then the Classic as the Army-Navy rivalry is fought. And college basketball action continues with the Wildcats. Villanova against Kentucky. Sports action next Saturday on CBS Sports.
There is a very unhappy story to report from Santa Anita Racetrack in Southern California today. Landa Lucy, the marvelous 2-year-old filly who was regarded as a top contender for next spring's Kentucky Derby, died this morning at Santa Anita. She had been ill for the last several days with a virus. And the unbeaten Landa Lucy, of course, captured the imagination of racing fans this summer and fall when she won her first 5 races by as many as 21 lengths. Now, in professional football today, we have all final scores to report to everyone. We can start off with the Chicago-Minnesota game, and Irv, the Vikings rallied after giving up an early touchdown to the Bears in that one.
They came back and looked pretty good. Mike Ditko watched his young quarterback, Jim McMahon, go to work in the first quarter, hit number 87, Emory Moorhead, for a touchdown. 50-yard touchdown pass, and the Bears took an early lead. But Tommy Kramer, who had an outstanding day, Brent, throwing the ball for 5 touchdown passes. That's number 1 there to Sammy White. Threw the ball 30 times, completed 24 passes for 314 yards and 5 touchdown passes. Here's touchdown pass number 2 to Joe Sensor. Play fake. Sensor sneaks into the end zone, 1-yard touchdown pass, and the Vikings seem to have things under control. Tommy Kramer again rolling to his right, looking deep to number 85, Sammy White, who caught 10 balls today for 177 yards, takes the ball down inside the 20-yard line, 8 yards out. Tommy Kramer rolls, hits Sammy White for another touchdown, and the Minnesota Vikings took the lead in the win, won the game 35-7.
Vikes record now, Irv, is 2-2, and the Bears sink to 1-3. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Raiders have been beaten for the first time this year by the Cincinnati Bengals, 31-17. Tough for a team to turn around after a Monday nighter and then go on the road. Bad weather, artificial turf, alibis that the Raiders would turn down, but the Bengals jumped all over them. After that touchdown pass to Holman, well, Jim Plunkett's pass here, intercepted by Ken Riley. He went 53 yards for a touchdown, and Riley, of course, leads the NFL in interceptions with 53. Finally, Plunkett found Cliff Branch of the Raiders in the end zone, and they were back in the chase, trailing 14-10. Marcus Allen, 8 carries, 0 yards from scrimmage, so Plunkett had to throw the ball to him, and this was a 14-yard gain here. But Kenny Anderson came back on the scramble, was flushed out, and with the alley, he got into the end zone. And again, the Bengals have downed the Raiders this afternoon, and the final score was 31-17 in that game. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles sink to 1-3 this afternoon. They are beaten by the Washington Redskins. 13-9 was the final score. Another long afternoon for Dick Vermeil, and here comes Joe Theismann and his favorite target.
But Joe Theismann, rolling to his right, looks upfield and finds Charlie Brown, number 87, for a 65-yard TD strike.
Look at the Redskin defense move in on Giamona right here. Without Wilbert Montgomery, the Eagles were unable to sustain much of a running game in this contest, and Vermeil very unhappy about that play. And here is Jaworski. He had 4 interceptions on the game, and that touchdown pass to Harold Carmichael, who at 6'8", can still beat some of those smaller cornerbacks in the league. And with time running out, Jaworski going for the sidelines. There was the last of 4, that one by Tony Peters, and that stopped their drive. And now the Redskins are unbeaten at 4 games. Hey, what a showdown they've got next week, bro.
The Dallas Cowboys coming into Washington, and that will be a real barn burner.
It sure will. As the Redskins continue to roll, I think they've won something like 10 of their last 12 games now, extending back to last season. Over in the AFC, the Colts sink to 0-4, the Bills to 3-1. A lot of no-shows, as you can see in that shot of Rich Stadium. And here are the Bills, Joe Ferguson with the handoff, and Roosevelt Leaks getting one of his short burst touchdowns in that game. And I guess you would say that the Colts just continue to beat themselves. There's Zachary Dixon on the fumble, and the Bills jump all over it, and this could be a very frustrating season for Frank Kush. The NFL Today will continue on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Sunday on CBS, when Barney can't pay his bar tab, will Archie foot the bill? And why is Gloria pretending Dr. Adams is dead?
I buried him in the cellar.
Then will George Jefferson use his head to crack a tough case?
Oh, you need a battering ram. Quick, grab Mr. Jefferson.
And on One Day at a Time, will Julie have her baby?
In the bathtub?
Then on Trapper John, Riverside is fired.
We can fight this thing. I'll get Trapper down here. He'll blow the lid off the place.
It's all happening Sunday.
This is CBS.
Irv, almost 27,000 no-shows down in Atlanta, and there'll be a lot more if the Falcons keep it up. They go to 2-2 as they lose to the Cardinals 23-20. Mick Luckhurst missed a field goal that would have sent that game into overtime. New England and Houston, two teams with new quarterbacks hooked up today, and the Patriots come away a winner 29-21. And that's the smallest crowd ever at Schaefer Stadium. Archie Manning now quarterbacking the Oilers, under pressure right here, and on this 24-yard run, he set up a 2-yard scoring burst by Earl Campbell. But this was the play. In fact, it was repeated over and over again. Grogan, Morgan, touchdown, Patriots. And they were not finished, because once you break Morgan in the free, look out, because he's got that breakaway speed, and Grogan got him for the second time. 5 catches overall on the game. Now here is Manning, back to pass, scrambling in the end zone. That's intentionally grounding in the end zone, and that is a safety. And the Patriots go on to win that game 29-21. Meanwhile, Irv, what a dandy over there in Shea Stadium. You've got some highlights of that action. 15-13, the Jets hold on to win it.
Boy, really a great game all day long. Lynn Dickey, the Green Bay quarterback, goes back and hits Phillips for a 24-yard touchdown pass. But the Jets come right back with Richard Todd going upfield for his speedster, Johnny Lamb Jones, who latches on, and the Jets are on the scoreboard with that touchdown pass. Bart Starr, mixed emotions about the ball game. Richard Todd comes back later in the ball game, passes over the middle, but the ball is picked off by number 53, Mike Douglas, a Green Bay Packer linebacker, who goes to the 24-yard line, setting up a touchdown opportunity for his ball club. And Lynn Dickey going upfield once again, Brent, number 85, Phillips second touchdown catch of the day for him. But the Jets, when the chips are really down, came through the 5-yard run from Augustiniak to wind up winning the ball game 15-13. The kicking game was very important in that game.
They were missing extra points and field goals all game long over there at Shea Stadium. Both teams now 3-1. Now, these are games still in progress. The Los Angeles Rams, they are leading the Chiefs 14-7 at the half of that game. San Diego and Dan Fouts is red hot in this one. It is 17-10 at the half. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes to Kellen Winslow in that game. And finally, Seattle is beating Pittsburgh, and Terry Bradshaw has been knocked out of the game for the Steelers. He sprained his shoulder in the first quarter of that game. We do not know how serious, but apparently he probably will not play in the second half of that game. And, of course, the contest you are watching, New Orleans right now is leading San Francisco 13-6 at the half. And speaking of the Steelers, we have a sad note in professional football. We were just phoned a short time ago, and Kathleen Rooney, the wife of Pittsburgh Steelers chairman of the board, Art Rooney, passed away earlier today after suffering a heart attack. Mrs. Rooney was 76 years old. She was married 50 years to Art, and she has 5 sons, including, of course, Dan Rooney. He is the president of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and all of us at CBS Sports send our condolences to Art and the family. The NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
From imagination and engineering comes a whole new generation of Zenith System 3 television. The sharpest picture Zenith has ever created. Remote control convenience that puts over 100 broadcast and cable channel capability at your fingertips. And handsome new contemporary cabinet designs. New Zenith System 3. Part of the new generation from Zenith, where the quality goes in before the name goes on.
I like it.
If you really like it,
I really like it.
we can help you get it. We're GMAC.
We want it.
We're GMAC Financing.
When it's time for that new family car, GMAC can help you get it with financing to fit your budget. It's available right here at your GM dealer.
Now at participating GM dealers, get low 10.9 financing on new 82 models.
We got it!
My American friends introduced me to my favorite beer, light beer from Miller. Now I'm introducing them to my favorite food. With nachos, the best thing about light is it tastes great.
Not bad.
With enchiladas, the best thing is it's got a third less calories than the regular beer. With burritos, the best thing is it's less filling.
Carlos, what's this?
And with jalapeno peppers, the best thing about light is it's cold.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. Allstate for home, auto, business, health, and life. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by K-Care, where quality automotive parts and service are Kmart priced.
We are here in rainy Candlestick Park, where the New Orleans Saints lead the San Francisco 49ers 13-6 at halftime. The Saints have looked awfully good, and the rain could have an effect as this game goes on, even though the turf has been in outstanding condition. And Roger, it looks as if, despite the fact that the great pass rush and the blitzing by the Saints have been effective, not being able to be picked up by the 49ers, San Francisco's only a touchdown down.
Well, that's the key right there. If you look at the half, it looks like the Saints are much smoother in offense. They're more sure of themselves. They're playing better defensively. The 49ers have got 2 field goals. They've a turnover that was critical. They just haven't been smooth at all, but yet it's only a 7-point difference. They can get back in the game with a big play, but they've got to do something about that Saint defense. They've been awfully tough pressuring Montana.
Keep in mind, you talk about a big play. How difficult will it be to engineer a big play with the weather the way it is?
Well, the wind hasn't really got out of hand. It was actually worse earlier, so I think he can still throw the football as long as the wind isn't a factor. And right now it's mainly rain. George Rogers, of course, is the advantage as far as the Saints. They'll be able to run the football more successfully than San Francisco.
Big story, it was the missed conversion by Tony Frisch that enabled the 49ers to go for 3 before the end of the half so that they would only be a touchdown behind.
Yeah, they were debating on that because they were kind of far out, maybe out of the range of Worshing, but they made the decision to go for the field goal because that would put them within a touchdown of tying the game, so that extra point was a big factor as far as that decision was concerned.
So Joe Montana with the jacket on here. Chilly, rainy, and the wind going from left to right. Let's take a look as we started the game about the age versus youth, the contrasting styles of these 2 quarterbacks who had such outstanding games a week ago. Montana breaking the club record. Stabler 6 for 12 for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. Montana 9 for 19. Stabler has been able to really mix his plays well, knowing he has Rogers, who hasn't really carried as much.
Those 6 completions, probably 4 of them were on first down, and of course then he had the 2 touchdowns. So he's used the pass and first down successfully. I think they have to continue to do that to keep the 49ers off balance, keep the 49ers guessing between the 4-man rush and the 3-man rush, because they're in there to stop Rogers. But with that pass and first down, Stabler's been effective, and then Rogers has busted a few loose on second down.
Rogers has gained 87 yards as you look at Joe Montana in 12 carries. Keep in mind he carried 33 times, club record last week in the victory over Kansas City. So Joe Montana, who has the ability to elude pressure, hasn't been able to get away as much as he'd like in the first half, as the Saints defense, with the sprinkling of youth and some veterans, have done the job. Worshing will kick off for San Francisco, and the Saints will be going left to right. Worshing, who has accounted for all of the 49er points with 2 field goals from 40 and 45 yards. He is now 4 for 7 on the year. Wayne Wilson is to the left and Andre Thompson to the right. Second half is underway. Dick Stockton and Roger Staubach, and it's Andre Thompson at the 19-yard line. Thompson gets ahead of steam and brings it out to the 36-yard line, where the tackle is made by Newton Williams, a running back, with help from Mike Clark. So the Saints go on offense, 1st and 10. Kenny Stabler who has added new life, and it's been contagious. That offensive line has really responded. When he came here, he went into the huddle and said, if you all just slow down a little bit, we can do a little business, and that kind of stuff has worked with him.
Yeah, they've got a lot of confidence in Kenny.
1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. You got to have rapport with your offensive line. Stabler has it. Jimmy Rogers cutting inside. Gets maybe a yard or two, and that's all. So Jimmy Rogers, number 41, starts out in place of George Rogers here in this 3rd period. Rogers scored a touchdown. Jim Stuckey and John Hardy made the tackle. Stuckey, Hardy, and Lawrence Pillars. Bum Phillips, general manager as well as head coach, and you can say the same for Bill Walsh, his opposite number with the 49ers. 2nd and 7 now, and Lindsey Scott and Jeff Groth are split wide right. Wilson and Rogers, it's Jimmy, and it's Jimmy Rogers on the draw play, and he has a 1st down and more, showing some of that Oklahoma speed. And Jimmy Rogers has a 1st down into San Francisco territory at the 47-yard line, a pickup of 14 before Eric Wright brought him down. Good block by center John Hill.
Good call, good situation. There's John Hill cross blocking with Louis O'Brien and Brad Edelman. Good job up the middle. Reynolds is knocked on his back right there. Rogers springs in that secondary, and it's a great run. Good blocking at the point of attack up the middle.
Jimmy Rogers, a big company at Oklahoma with Billy Sims, Kenny King, David Overstreet, Elvis Peacock. Stabler short on his pass. He was going for Lindsey Scott, incomplete. Scott actually got by Eric Wright covering on the right side.
Kenny was trying to get it in that seam between Eric Wright, who was coming up short, and Dwight Hicks, who was playing the deep route, and he just couldn't get it out to the sideline with enough speed.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. The Saints in Niners territory at the 48-yard line. 13-3, the 13-6 the score. New Orleans leading. Groth is wide to the right. Lindsey Scott with speed on an inside pattern, and Jimmy Rogers picks up 6 yards. Jack Reynolds is quickly there to make the stop on Jimmy Rogers. Out of Oklahoma, was signed as a free agent in 1980.
I'm trying to get a reading on George Rogers, Dick. I assume they're either resting him or they're not going to play him the full game. He was banged up a little bit in the 1st half, but he came back at the end of the half.
He goes out of the game now, replaced by a wide receiver. There are 3 in there now. Kenny Duckett, number 83, joins Lindsey Scott and Jeff Groth. 3rd and 4 at the 43. Stabler up the middle. Hobie Brenner has it, and a 1st down for the Saints. A clutch 3rd down pass play. Keena Turner makes the stop, and Hobie Brenner makes another difficult reception.
Well, he's got the tight end inside, the wide receivers to the outside, and he goes inside over the middle. Keena Turner has Hobie Brenner man-to-man. Brenner, again, we talked about him. He's a basketball player, led his high school to the state championship. Good hands. He's a big target. He's made some key plays today, and there's George. Supposedly he's holding that left arm and left shoulder a little bit. He doesn't have a serious injury, but he is banged up a little bit.
Brenner now has caught 3 for 49, and the report is that George Rogers is not hurt. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. 49ers showing blitz. Stabler is going up top to Lindsey Scott, and it's out of bounds. Covering him like a blanket was Eric Wright. This is where Kenny Stabler is oh so tough. He is tough to read, and he can really throw it well. I don't know how difficult the rain is here and how tough it is to handle the ball here.
Well, this time Stabler was trying to get the ball again, similar to the last play, an out and go. This time Eric Wright comes up. He's got help deep by Dwight Hicks, who comes over, but Wright recovers very well, gets back in time. The ball's thrown to the outside, incomplete.
Lindsey Scott from Georgia, tremendous talent. The layoff helped him. He was out of the Chicago game. That was the last game they played before the strike started with a hamstring pull. On 2nd and 10 at the 30, Stabler's pass to Groth, complete, 1st down. And Groth is inside the 20-yard line. Making the play is Dwight Hicks, the free safety.
What makes this play right here, watch the blitz up the middle by Reynolds and Horn. They're coming up the middle. We can't see the blitz, but this is man. That's the reason he's inside right there. He has no help in the middle because of the blitz. The weak safety has to come up in the back, so he gives the outside away. It's a great pass against the blitz. Jeff Groth.
And Eric Wright fell down covering on the play, and that's the advantage, especially in weather like this, of a good hands, good position receiver as Jeff Groth is. He caught 4 for 68 yards and a touchdown last week. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Saints threatening again. Stabler going for growth out of bounds, and Eric Wright covering.
Well, they're working on Eric Wright. There's no question about that. We've seen quite a few plays at that side of the field. Ronnie Lott, the All-Pro, is the other side of the field and hasn't gotten much action today. But Wright has done a pretty good job in the blitz situation where he's taken away the inside. They hit growth. That time he was man-to-man on him, covered him well.
Kenny Stabler, who took over. It was Stabler and Manning when the season started. Manning was traded to Houston. And Stabler said he came back from his retirement of football after being waived by Houston because he liked Bum Phillips. It was fun to play for Bum. Ron Ferrari, Milt McColl in at linebacker. Fred Dean is in, number 74 for the Niners. 2nd and 10 at the 10-yard line. And Jack Reynolds makes the stop on Jimmy Rogers. It'll be 3rd down.
He can go to the well the second time with a veteran like Reynolds, though. You're not going to fool him again. The last time he was fooled on the draw, and he was blocked very well. This time he comes in, and we should be able to see him on the right hand of your screen. Number 64 plays the draw very well. He anticipates that time. He sees the guards, the way they're blocking, gives away the draw. And, of course, he goes right for the running back instead of waiting and getting blocked like he did previously.
13th year from Tennessee, 11 years with the Los Angeles Rams, who they'll play Thursday. 3rd and 12 at the 20 now. Wayne Wilson, the lone setback. Stabler with a lot of receivers. Going for Jeff Groth. Thrown way out of bounds. Ronnie Lott was with him. It'll be 4th down, but a penalty flag is right down at the line of scrimmage. We have holding called against the Saints.
It's an interesting situation for San Francisco. They'll probably take it to get him out of field goal range. They'll probably have to take it. Gives them maybe another shot for a 1st down, though.
And keep in mind that the wind would be at the back of the kicker here, so they want to get him out of range. See whether Brad Edelman, the very promising 2nd-round pick.
Holding, 64, 10 yards.
It was the man next to him,
Still 3rd
Dave
down.
LaFari. There is Wade Phillips, who is the son, of course, of Bum Phillips. Said when he was growing up, he idolized his dad, didn't really get to know him. But now that they're working together, he says, I finally find out all about my dad. So this is a good family story with Wade, the defensive coordinator, Bum, the head coach. 3rd down on the 22. On the 30. 3rd and 22. Stabler. Kenny Duckett has it. Short of a 1st down, however,
here's the
at the 10-yard line.
Here's the coach tester right here.
Dwight Hicks makes the tackle. They were short of a 1st down by a yard.
Watch the receivers crossing right here. Lindsey Scott coming to the inside. There's Ronnie Lott on Duckett. He turns his back on him. He doesn't see the ball a lot, and Duckett, of course, looks it in, and you have a tester here, but it's not going to be one. I guess it's about 2 yards to go, and it's a good decision. Bum Phillips, get out of that touchdown range as far as San Francisco and get a few more points on the board.
Tony Frisch will try. 27-yard field goal attempt by Tony, former Houston Oiler kicker, and it is good. And so the Saints come up with 3.
Was not a good kick by Tony Fritz. He's shaking his head. He's shaking it because he's just happy it went through. I believe it hit the goalpost. We'll get a chance to see it right here. It looked like it did. I know Frisch wasn't happy about it.
Sometimes you do everything right and you don't get it. That hit the goalpost. It went over, and it's 16-6.
We are USA 1, taking charge with celebrity. No import sedan at any price can match this Chevrolet for the room it gives you with the mileage it gives you. And Chevrolet now brings it to you at new lower prices. The 5-passenger front-wheel drive Celebrity with standard engine electronic fuel injection. Chevrolet's new generation sedan. USA 1 is taking charge.
Now, there's a steel-belted radial that meets today's driving challenges head-on. The new 72,000-mile Olympian. Made by Uniroyal, Olympian's all-season tread takes any weather in stride. Built to outdistance Michelin X and Goodyear Arriva. Now buy 4 Olympians and get a $200 bond from Kmart. Buy 2, get a $100 bond. The Olympian. It goes the distance. The Olympian. Quality by Uniroyal. The price by Kmart.
Tony Frisch, who kicked for Bum in Houston, and there is Wade Phillips next to him. The fellow before was not Wade Phillips we talked about. Amos Lawrence returning the kick at the 20-yard line, gets to the 25 and the 30-yard line. It's raining harder now. It is really coming down. A downpour here. There is Wade Phillips. So everything I said about Wade before still goes, only that's the man.
Well, we had to bring that up because Mrs. Phillips called into the booth.
Yeah,
so that's not my son, Wade.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line for the 49ers. And we have a downpour here. They said at worst what we would have here would be drizzle.
No, it's drizzling all right.
That's not a drizzle. 49ers trailing 16-6, 9:31 remaining in the third quarter. Dick Stockton and Roger Staubach. And here comes pressure. Ricky Jackson, the pass is caught by Charlie Young. And Young is tackled at the 34, a pickup of 3 yards on the play. Russell Gary, the strong safety, and Scott Pallure, the inside linebacker who started in place of the injured Jim Kovach, made the play. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 at the 34. So the Saints are even reading the screens well today.
They're doing everything well on defense. The blitz that have mixed up also. I really like the idea. They're putting Gary on the line of scrimmage to the outside, and he's been sneaky when he's blitzed, and it's really caused confusion for the 49ers because they think of it almost every play now.
Jeff Moore is in motion, swinging out to Cooper, and it's intercepted by Ricky Jackson. Ricky Jackson has only Montana to beat, and Jackson is tripped up inside the 10-yard line. He's at the 6. So Jackson with a fumble recovery and an interception, and the Saints with a chance to really open up this game.
Well, the slippery ball could have had something to do with this play. Montana throws the ball to the outside, and it's overthrown. And Jackson's in the right spot at the right time and actually makes a nice catch. There's the ball being thrown over the head of Cooper, and Jackson snuggles it to the side and tries to break it into the end zone. Watch him make a little cut to the inside. He sees the goal line, sees daylight. Right here, he makes his move, and Montana does knock him down.
Montana's 5th interception that he's thrown this year. He has 7 touchdown passes. Saints have it 1st and goal at the 6, leading by 10 points, 16-6. And George Rogers trying to find room, gets to the 5. John Hardy, the nose tackle in his 2nd year from Iowa, and Fred Dean make the play on Rogers, who really has not had to work as hard as he did last week when he carried 33 times. There is Hardy, who was drafted as an eventual nose tackle, but because of injuries in the defensive line for the 49ers, Archie Reese no longer with the ball club, was sent to Kansas City. They dropped him. Hardy force fed here. 2nd and goal at the 5. 2 tight ends, Hobie Brenner and Larry Hardy. Out of the eye, here's Rogers again. Rogers getting close to the goal line. Makes it to about the 1. Under 8 minutes to play, third quarter. Big interception by Ricky Jackson, and the Saints with a chance to open it up. Jack Reynolds and Pete Kugler make the stop on George Rogers.
Got those 91 yards, and he has about 60 of those yards on 1 run. But he gets the tough yardage around the goal line. George Rogers is the man to give the ball to, of course, and they need to do it here to get into that end zone. He's got 2 shots at about from the 1-yard line to get the touchdown.
Leon Gray is in at left tackle. There's the brain trust for the Saints. 3rd and goal at the 2. Rogers hits a wall. Penalty marker is down. Penalty flag down. Rogers did not make it over the goal line. It's against San Francisco. And that will be offside against the 49ers. Half the distance.
Offside, defense, right in, half the distance of the goal line, still 3rd down.
So it's 3rd now and 1. Third and goal at the 1. Up back is Wilson. Rogers carries. He's over. Touchdown. And the New Orleans Saints taking advantage of 49er turnovers, and Ricky Jackson, the man of the hour on that score, has given the Saints a 22-6 lead.
Bum gave him that little clenched fist right there. That's the satisfying gesture of a head coach that likes this score right here. It's a wedge, just everyone's wedged in the middle, and Rodgers just busted over the lead back that's rushing to the line, but the wedge wedges the 49ers 1 yard into the end zone, good enough for the touchdown.
Wayne Wilson was the lead blocker. George Rodgers with his second touchdown rushing of the season, and it is 22-6. Wersching with Merkins holding will try to add the 23rd point. Frisch, we should say. Tony Frisch. And the kick is good. So no longer was that missed conversion a factor here with 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the third quarter. Wet, rainy Candlestick Park. It's 23-6, the Saints lead.
Looks like a great day. What are you going to do?
Play tennis.
Get a new swing set.
Anyone want to compare insurance policies? Wait, Allstate could make it worthwhile. And very easy. Just drop off your policies at Allstate the next time you're in Sears. And we're going to do everything to see if Allstate can give you a better value. Oh, got good news for you.
You do?
He does. Already?
See what Allstate can do for you. Put yourself in good hands.
We are USA 1. Taking charge by unleashing a Chevrolet the competition can't touch. Camaro. Flat outselling every other 2+2 sports coupe on the road today. And now Camaro is led by a new standard 5-speed, 5-liter Z28. The hot-selling Chevy Camaro. It still leaves everything but its shadow behind. USA 1 is taking charge.
Well, you might say when it rains, it pours. That's what's happening to the Saint fans, the hardy ones who are here at Candlestick Park, as New Orleans have opened up 23-6 lead over San Francisco. And Bill Walsh told us yesterday, he said, we lose this game, it's going to be very tough to come back. You've got to really win the rest of the games. No margin of error there. So Frisch kicking off. Amos Lawrence at the 2-yard line. And Lawrence is stopped at the 25-yard line by Jimmy Rodgers, who has done it many ways today. Villanova against Kentucky. Gary Bender and Billy Packer will bring you all the action from Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. We continue with NCAA basketball next Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern.
If you've seen this game, of course, you feel that the Saints have it under control, which is obvious, 23-6. But you're dealing with a big play offense. Montana can make things happen fast, and they could get back in the game if the Saints make a mistake.
In motion, Ronaldo Nehemiah. He's the man that could get them back in the game in a hurry. Got that blazing speed, and John Ayers, the left guard, might have moved. Saints took a lead on a Stabler to Wilson touchdown pass early. Let's pick up the call.
Ball start, number 68.
It's on Ayers, 5 yards. It was 7-0 New Orleans. Then it was 7-3 after Wersching's field goal. Jimmy Rodgers made it 14-3. Wersching with a 45-yarder before the half seemed to give the 49ers some momentum. Saints have outscored the 49ers 10-0 here in the third. Moore and Waymer chasing him. Got a hand of his jersey, and Moore fumbles the ball. Question is, did he fumble it out of bounds? It is still San Francisco ball. They retain possession at the 33. Scott Pallure makes the tackle. Here's Dennis Winston in his 6th year from Arkansas. Really had been their best running back, a 6th-round draft choice. Sprained his foot, not active for this game. But even last year, the 49ers really didn't have that premier running back.
They didn't. And I remember that game against Dallas. They had guys like Linville Elliott in there and Patton, and they're not even on the team this year.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. In motion, Freddie Solomon. Montana fires it. Charlie Young, the tight end, with a fine catch. He was blasted by several defenders. A 13-yard pickup and a first down at the 49 of New Orleans. Winston, Pallure, and Watlett, but Charlie Young held on.
Now, Charlie Young, Bill Walsh told us he's a real technician. He works hard. He's got good work ethics as far as his practice time, and he really works on what he's supposed to be doing. Of course, he catches the ball in the crowd right there. Number 56, Dennis Winston, pops him. Young holds on to the football.
1st and 10 now at the Saints 49. And here's Moore with John Ayers blocking. And Moore gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. 49ers have not been able to go outside, thanks in part to Ricky Jackson, who made the tackle there. Jackson has been the outstanding player on defense for the Saints, recovering a fumble, returning an interception to set up a field goal, and of course just roaming all over the field. What a year of linebackers last year. Lawrence Taylor, Hugh Green, and Ricky Jackson.
He was kind of the forgotten man as far as Green and Lawrence Taylor are concerned, but he's in that mold. He's a big play guy for the Saints, and linebackers that are big play people really can make a difference in defense.
Ricky Jackson led the team in sacks last year. 2nd and 10. Draw play, Moore. He's hit, and maybe a yard, that's all. Russell Gary was coming in and forcing the play from strong safety. Dennis Winston also there. And I'll tell you, the Saints are playing exactly the kind of defense that Bum Phillips had in Houston when the Oilers were at their best defensively.
Well, they're hungry on defense, and as you mentioned, they've got some experience over there, but the young players with the Saints, they haven't lost in the past. They don't know what losing is. They believe they can win, and they have that confidence that Bum Phillips has instilled in this football team, and it shows on defense. Your attitude of your football team shows on the aggressiveness by your defensive unit.
Jeff Moore out of the game. They're working on his leg. 3rd and 10 at the 49. Charlie Young replaces him. Montana trying to get something going through the air, was hit. The pass intended for Charlie Young, incomplete. Reggie Lewis was rushing on the play. 28-year-old free agent rookie from San Diego State. There he is. Led the Canadian League in sacks last year. Cat quick, a native from New Orleans. Came right in on Montana, didn't give him much time. So it's 4th down.
Charlie Young made a fine reception previous to that. That time he had a chance to catch the ball. Whitney Paul was there to knock his head off, and that had a little bit to do with that drop.
You think the Saints are hitting hard? Just about every play. Jim Miller punting. Groth calls for the fair catch inside the 15-yard line. So we have 3 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. The Saints lead the 49ers in a big surprise, 23-6.
You know, there's nothing like getting together for a nice, friendly game of cards. Right. Jim brings the cards.
Uh-oh.
Mickey brings the doll.
Thanks, doll.
And I bring the beer. Light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. And it's less filling. And you don't want to get filled up when you're dealing with these guys who... Okay, Numa, cut the cards. Oh, no.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Change velocity ratio. Change data.
When General Motors talks about fuel economy, it isn't just a lot of wind. Although wind is involved. Aerodynamics are tested here in 50-mile-an-hour winds because less wind resistance means more miles per gallon. This has helped GM double fuel economy since 1974.
That's a fact, and not just a lot of wind.
We're living up to our commitment. Right now, today, we're the best GM ever.
Next Saturday, it's one of college football's greatest traditions, the Army-Navy game. Be a part of the classic next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Here's the attendance story. There were 9,302 no-shows today. Now we have approximately 25 to 30,000 in the stands as the Saints and the rain have driven the Bay Area fans back to their homes. 49ers President Ed DeBartolo is unable to watch his team in person today. He's back in Youngstown, Ohio. His daughter Nicole, who's 7 years old, had surgery, was successful. We wish our best to Nicole and Ed, who has to be a little disappointed or more than that today. Wayne Wilson, breaking a couple of tackles, gets close to the 20-yard line. And a pickup of 5 yards. Eric Wright makes the tackle. Other games in the National Football League. They're tied now. Denver's come back to knot up San Diego Chargers 17-all in the 3rd quarter. The Rams, after trailing early, have come back strong to lead Kansas City 20-7 in the 3rd quarter of their game. Seattle continues to lead Pittsburgh 9-0 in the third quarter at the Kingdome.
Bradshaw was hurt in that game, by the way, and has been out with a sprained shoulder.
Kenny Duckett in motion, 2nd and 5. Wayne Wilson. Shy of a first down by 2 yards, perhaps.
Well, this is what Bill Walsh did not want to happen when he talked to us, Dick. Getting behind with people like Rodgers and Wilson running that football. They can control it, keep the 49er offense off the field, and that's their best defense, to keep that 49er big play offense off the field.
Walsh said you have to know how to use the clock. They did it against Cincinnati so effectively in the Super Bowl, and now he's seeing what it's like to be done to him as Bum Phillips using up the clock. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 3rd and 1. Brenner and Hardy are twin tight ends. Rich Maudy in there as well. And Hokie Gajan rushes for the first down. First down by Hokie Gajan, who's a 10th round draft pick out of LSU. He was out last year, was in an automobile accident, but came back strong this time. He's a fine blocker and a hard runner, and the kind of player that Bum Phillips likes on his team.
We're getting the report that George Rodgers is not hurt, but I think he's got a sore shoulder. They're just making sure that he's not used when he shouldn't be, to have a further problem with that shoulder, but there's no reason he shouldn't be in there unless he's got a minor problem.
1st and 10 at the 25. Gajan hits a stone wall. John Hardy and a few of his friends bring him down. Of course, after 33 carries last week, after the 57-day layoff, Bum Phillips seeing a chance to give George Rodgers more than a breather with a 23-6 lead in the final minute of the third quarter.
After the game, Bum was talking to one of the statisticians on the Saints and said, how many carries did George have? He said 33. He said, good. I told him he wouldn't carry the ball 35 times.
That's right. He kept his promise. Here's Bum and Lindsey Scott wide to the right. 2nd and 9. Saints at their own 26-yard line. Not taking any chances. Wayne Wilson jitterbugs his way to the 30-yard line. Hardy, the nose tackle, again makes the stop.
Well, they're working with 2 tight ends in there. They're keeping Hobie Brenner and Larry Hardy in the game, and this is the situation where you try to, well, they just took out Hardy, brought in Jeff Gross, so they want to keep possession of the football, and again, your tight end is a excellent receiver in this situation, and Brenner's been his big play guy today, getting the first down.
They won't get off this play. The clock is going to run out in the third quarter. Bum Phillips says, I hope it keeps going the way it's going, because at the end of the third quarter here at Candlestick Park, with a smattering of fans, the Saints with a convincing 23-6 lead over the defending world champs.
We are USA 1, taking charge with the new Cavaliers, with a new high-compression electronic fuel-injected 2-liter engine, available 5-speed transmission, and a new lower price. It's powered by Chevrolet's determination to put Cavalier on top and priced to keep it there. A full line of new Cavaliers from America's sales leader. USA 1 is taking charge.
A special Christmas gift from Radio Shack.
Dad, I know exactly what I'd like for Christmas. Radio Shack Science Fair 160-in-1 electronic project kit. It's only $29.95. It'll teach me electronics. I can learn to build safe, solderless, battery and solar radios, transmitters, computer circuits, electronic sound effects, even LED readouts. Maybe I can even learn how to fix your razor.
The 160-in-1 electronic project kit, only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Cadillac Motor Car Division and your Cadillac dealer. Light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less. And by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be.
Well, the crew has been well covered. The equipment is well covered. And I guess you can say the Saints have covered the 49ers well. 23-6 the score as we start the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton and Roger Staubach in rushing alone, and that's what the Saints wanted to do to control the ball. They've outrushed the 49ers 147-42. Third down. Wayne Wilson all alone up the middle is into 49er territory and to the 37-yard line. Ronnie Lott makes the tackle, and Wayne Wilson was wide open on that third down play. 34-yard pickup.
Well, Stabler had Hobie Brenner out to the right side, Wilson into the inside, and again, the veteran quarterback he is. He picks out the open receiver. Good move right there on number 52 that time, Bobby Leopold, who was man-to-man. Keena Turner had Brenner to the outside. He picked Wilson. Wilson wide open down the middle, and again, another big play for the Saints.
We said at the very top, Roger, that no longer it was a matter of stopping George Rogers. You had other people to worry about with the Saints.
We also mentioned that the offensive line had to protect Stabler, and they've done a good job.
1st and 10 at the 37. Here is Wayne Wilson on the pitch, cutting inside, and gets to the 35. Stabler is 10 for 19 on the afternoon with 120 yards, 1 touchdown pass, and 1 interception. But he has been protected by the likes of LaFari and Gray at left tackle, Brad Edelman, the second-round draft choice at guard, John Hill, who's really gained a lot of respect, and Phillips respect for him, the 11-year pro, Oubre and Kelvin Clark at right guard, and Stan Brock at right tackle. 2nd and 8 at the 35. George Rogers out of the game is 93 yards and 15 carries. And here's Jimmy Rogers, caught behind the line by Ron Ferrari, number 54, 7th-round draft choice from Illinois. Mike White, the coach at Illinois and a good friend of Bill Walsh, says you got to draft this guy because he'll make some big plays for you. So it'll be 3rd and 11 for the Saints, and Groth comes in with the play. Jimmy Rogers goes out. Kenny Duckett wide right. Lindsey Scott and Groth. Draw play. Dijon and Lawrence Pillars, former New York Jet, meets him head on, so it'll be 4th down.
You know, when a football game's over, you look at 3 situations and your consistency throughout the year. It's the turnovers, field position, and also 3rd down conversion. And the Saints did their job there that time. That pass to Wilson got him out of that hole in the back and will put him, the defense, in good field position for the Saints. They've done that all day. They've made the plays. They've moved the football. They've either scored or they've put the 49ers into some tough field position.
Erxleben will kick. Solomon back at the 10-yard line. Fair catch, and the ball sails into the end zone for a touchback. And you can see how much it's raining with that mud and rain out of the end zone. Timeout. We're in the 4th quarter. We'll be back.
If you care about your pictures, you'll flip over Kodak paper. Because for a good look on the front, it helps to have Kodak paper on the back. Kodak paper. It's the only paper to flip over. So to help your pictures look their best, come to a store that cares enough to use Kodak paper.
And you'll flip.
Just ask for Kodak paper where you see this sign. And start flipping.
We are USA 1, taking charge with a Chevrolet so versatile. It's part moving van, part school bus, part camper, and part sporting car. The front-wheel drive Chevy Citation, outselling every other front-wheel drive over the past 3 years combined. USA 1 is taking charge.
Saints are leading the 49ers 23-6 in a shocking game here. 49ers thinking they're on their way back. They have enough time, 11:53, but the Saints don't give any indication of weakening here. They are playing a tremendous physical game, and an audible at the line. Here comes a safety blitz by Gary, going deep for Freddie Solomon, who had beaten Dave Waymer. Incomplete.
Well, it's been that kind of day, but Waymer might have got a hand on that ball right there. Get an angle, we might be able to see a little bit better, but Solomon had him beat by a step. The ball was a little bit short. And here's Waymer. He knows he's beat. He just takes off like a track star. At the last second, he sees Solomon looking for the ball, and Solomon just dropped that football. Waymer did not get a hand on it.
Everything going wrong for the 49ers today. That was their best chance for a big gainer through the air. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Nehemiah in there now. Montana being chased by Ricky Jackson to Jeff Moore on the screen. Jackson or Moore has a first down to the 34-yard line. Dennis Winston and Whitney Paul make the stop, and Moore, third-year player from Jackson State.
Well, that was set up all the way. Montana rolling to right, and all the linemen now have pulled out to the left with Jeff Moore. They're in front of him. It's a screen pass back across the field. Good blocking at the point of attack right there, but there are a lot of Saints. The Saints have been hustling over that field, and they prevented a real big play and held him to about a 15-yard gain.
The Niners are 2 touchdowns and a field goal behind. 83 is Ronaldo Nehemiah. Their plan was to try to free him. So far, they've been unable to do it. 1st and 10 at the 35. Montana with a deep drop, drills it to Russ Francis. And Dennis Winston, fumble on the play. And the Saints have picked it up. Francis fumbled. He was hit by Ricky Jackson and Dennis Winston, and Dave Waymer may have picked up the fumble. He did.
Dave Waymer's got the football. The referees are still talking in the middle of that crowd. And
they've changed it. I think they're going to change it. They did. It's still 49er ball. Waymer says, wait a second, I have the ball.
Russ Francis definitely was collared right here by Jackson and Waymer, and Montana drills it. Francis catches a tough pass right here. It's high, but bam, he's hit. Dirt Winston, 56, hit him, and Jackson. The ball pops loose.
They must have blown the whistle.
Well, the officials made a bad call right there because the ball was loose before he went to the ground, so they did blow it dead.
Scott Pallure actually made the hit that jarred the ball loose, but they're giving it to the 49ers.
I'd like to see that one more time.
Boy, the Saints are incensed here.
Well, here it is. Again, we'll see it. Francis does have enough time to gather the ball in, and then Dirt Winston, 56, pops him right there. Look at him, hits right there. Bam, there's where the ball comes before his left knee might have hit the ground, but right there it looks like the first official was right, the second official that changed it was wrong.
2nd and 2, Earl Cooper on the swing pass, first down, inside the 40-yard line. The 49ers getting the call back in their favor. Frank Watland makes the play on a swing pass to Cooper. The clock not yet a factor with 10 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. 20-yard pickup, though, for San Francisco. Checking his list.
All those Saints are like a bunch of busy bees running around out there popping people.
They are hitting, and they have from the start. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. 49ers with the ball. They've managed just 2 field goals in this game. Clark and Solomon split wide right. Montana with enough time. Can't find a receiver. Going to take off to the 40. And runs out of bounds at the 31. Short of a first down. But good thinking and good ad-libbing by Joe Montana. Good block by Charlie Young, the tight end, as well.
Again, good coverage downfield and decent pressure that time. Montana had enough time, but he couldn't find anyone. He had to scramble out to the left and finally ran the football a yard short of the first down.
There's Bill Walsh, whose domination of the organization, he expects so much from his team. As Sam Weiss told us, every day, every week is a final examination. He demands so much of them. 2nd and 1 at the 30-yard line. 23-6, New Orleans in front. Montana gets Russ Francis. Francis, first down. The 25, he fumbles, and this time, let's see, we'll wait for the call. New Orleans, the Saints have recovered. And I don't believe they'll change it this time. Saints recovered, and Russ Francis fumbled. As the 49ers look their best offensively of the day on this drive. Francis and Dirt Winston with a few words for each other, but New Orleans hasn't.
Now, Winston's probably saying you fumbled the last time, and Francis gave him a few words. Francis is a little frustrated right now. He can mean a lot to these 49ers in the future, but so far this season with the strike, he hasn't done a whole lot, and he fumbles right here.
We'll return to Candlestick Park now after this word from your local station.
Ricky Schroeder doesn't want a new father. Patty Ducaston doesn't want a new man. How can James Ferrantino win their hearts?
Let's take a chance.
Something So Right, Tuesday.
This is CBS.
Well, if you don't succeed at first, just do it again, and that's what happened. Dave Waymer recovered a fumble by Russ Francis. It was turned around when the official said the whistle blew just moments before, and this time he made it count.
Yeah, he was calling home to his mother, telling her about it, too. It was a big play.
1st and 10, Andre Thompson is split wide left for the Saints at their own 24-yard line. 9:33 to go in the 4th quarter. Jimmy Rogers dives forward off a right tackle. And this is one of the games of luxury for Bum Phillips, not to have to rely on George Rogers, play in and play out, and having a 23-6 lead in the 4th quarter. Other games today. Final score, the New York Jets on a safety beat Green Bay 15-13. Washington undefeated, beating Philadelphia 13-9. It'll be the Redskins and the Cowboys, second half of our CBS doubleheader next Sunday. Cowboys 3-1. The Redskins undefeated at 4-0. Hokie Gajan bounces off of 2 or 3 tacklers. He is a gutty player indeed. Gets to the 28-yard line. The St. Louis Cardinals defeated Atlanta 23-20. Cardinals are at Philadelphia next week. Atlanta plays at Denver. Buffalo over Baltimore 20-0. Will the Colts ever score in the resumption of the season? New England over Houston 29-21. And Cincinnati beat the LA Raiders 31-17. First loss of the year for the Los Angeles Raiders. 3rd and 5 at the 28 now. 8:15 to go, 4th quarter. And Jimmy Rogers cutting inside has a first down. Short of the 40-yard line, call it the 39. You'd think the Saints were the world champions and the 49ers were trying a game this year. Lynn Thomas made the tackle.
I talked to Bill Walsh about there's the Tommy Kramer 5 touchdown passes today, 35-7 over Chicago.
And Minnesota plays at Miami next week. It'll be the old hookup again. Don Shula and Bud Grant, Minnesota and Miami from the Orange Bowl. Tampa Bay plays at New Orleans, and the Saints should be sky high. And of course, we mentioned the Dallas-Washington game. 1st and 10 at the 39. Second back is Jimmy Rogers. Picks up 2. That Dallas-Washington rivalry, of course, is one of the great ones in football, and you were really a great part of it.
Well, I feel that Joe Gibbs at Washington, too. Talking to him last year, they got off to a rocky start. 0-5, and they turned it around. Joe Theismann had a great second half last year. I think he's an excellent quarterback, doing a good job this year. And Joe Gibbs, again, has put together a structure there that is solid. They might even be a year away from being the caliber of team that everyone thought, but this year they're disproving it. They're a little bit ahead of schedule right now, and they played Dallas. They're 4-0 going against Dallas 3-1 for, of course, the big home field advantage in the playoffs.
Another big game between those two clubs. Jimmy Rogers at 2nd and 8. Gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. It's amazing that 4 of last year's 5 NFC playoff teams right now are in trouble. When you look at Philadelphia at 1-3, San Francisco, if they go on and lose this game, they'll be 1-3. Giants 1-3, and Tampa Bay 0-3, and they play tomorrow.
There's about 6:27 to go right here. And one thing I wanted to mention, Bill Walsh has been afraid of the Super Bowl syndrome, and everyone's experienced. So you got to give Pittsburgh credit. They won back-to-back. So we were there a couple times and lost that back-to-back the second time. So Cincinnati's 3-1. They're hungry this year. The San Francisco 49ers could be 1-3. The Super Bowl last year, the strike, what is it? They're about a beat off from the football team they were last year.
Jimmy Rogers at 3rd and 7 is shy by about 3 yards on the play, and so it'll be 4th down in a punting situation. Bill Walsh wary of this game. He knew when they lost the first 2 games of the season, though they won last week, that 1-3 would put a lot of pressure on, and the 49ers really are faced with having to win the rest of their games.
They were a playoff against the Raiders, the opening game of the year, a play or two in the Denver game. This is the first time. They've been pretty well blown out, outplayed today. both sides of the ball, offense and defense. The Snake and Rogers have controlled the football, the offensive line for the Saints, and on defense, they've been all over the field making the plays from the safety position on blitzes, interception, a fumble recovery. It's been a good day for the Saints, to say the least.
Remember what Bill Walsh said. He says, you can talk all you want about George Rogers and Stabler. I respect Bum Phillips because he's an excellent defensive coach. His teams always play sound defensive football, and that's really been the story today. Ricky Jackson with the fumble recovery, the interception, Waymer's fumble recovery, an alert around the ball defense. They have swarmed tacklers and the runners, and they have been just there when they needed to be there, and the Saints defense is the story.
I think it's premature to say that the Saints are going to be in the Super Bowl this year, but like anything else or anyone else, they have a chance, but they're building, again, that foundation, and Bum has handled personnel well. They've drafted well. They're starting to put a team together for the future, the next year or two, with a few more players. This is going to be a competitive football team and a contender in the years to come.
Saints play Tampa Bay at home, then they travel to Atlanta and Dallas and finish with Washington and Atlanta at home.
I watched the Saints back in, I was at Pensacola Naval Air Station, the service back when Billy Kilmer was there, and they used to use the Band-Aid approach trying to solve their problems, but now it's more of a long-term approach under Bum Phillips.
Dropped right at the 20-yard line is Freddie Solomon, following the punt by Erxleben, and the Saints are just flying high right now in the fourth quarter.
There's a hungry kind of feeling, and every day it grows. You know there's so much more to you than anybody knows.
In the Army, we do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
If you're a 49er fan, it's been a dismal afternoon. If you're rooting for the Saints, you don't feel the rain. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. It's been a beautiful day for the Saints. Freddie Solomon in motion with 5:07 to go in the fourth quarter. Montana's pass, incomplete, intended for Jeff Moore. Montana has unable to get untracked today. He's had his problems, mostly because of the defense. San Diego and Denver, 20-20 in the fourth quarter. The Rams lead cut to 6, 20-14 over Kansas City in the fourth quarter. Seattle 16-0. Zorn to Paul John, 11-yard touchdown pass, 16-0, a big shocker against Pittsburgh, undefeated coming into this game. 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line. Jeff Moore in motion. Montana. Cooper, penalty marker is down. We told you before the Jets beat Green Bay. It was not as a result of a safety, as we had said. It was a field goal that won the game. Holding against San Francisco.
Well, Montana has not had one of his better days. He's thrown the ball well at times, but he's also been short on a few throws, and at times he's been pressured. He's 16-30 with 1 interception. But again, they've just moved the ball at times
71.
to get in scoring position. There's holding on Farnhurst that time. Keith, the right tackle of the 49ers, and they haven't been able to make the play around the goal line, and part of it's been the Saint defense, especially on those safety blitzes, to put pressure on Montana.
2nd down and 20 at the 11-yard line. This team is growing up fast, the Saints are. Montana inside his 5. Complete to Dwight Clark. 1st down at the 35-yard line.
Well, that's been the hole over the middle that they've had. They haven't thrown it enough. They hit it once right before the half, but you have on the right side, you have Solomon clearing out deep down the middle, taking the safeties back. It's a zone. You see number 25 leave his coverage right there, Johnny Poe, so there's no one in the middle. Solomon's cleared him out, and Clark catches the ball 25 yards.
They needed a few of those plays earlier in the game. 4:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. 23-6, the Saints lead the 49ers. Montana, quick look in. Freddie Solomon stopped short of midfield. It's good enough for a 1st down for San Francisco, but even when the 49ers make the play, the Saints are there to bring him down. 25-yard pickup before this one. on the play to Dwight Clark, and this one was for 13. First and 10 at the 48-yard line. Montana drills it. First down again to Dwight Clark. For Clark, his 5th reception of the afternoon. 88 yards, lining up quickly with nearly 3.5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Freddie Solomon. And another first down at the 25. Frank Watlett. The Saints playing back, soft on them.
They're a little bit looser. They're getting rid of the ball quickly, too. Montana is not getting the pressure on him, and he's going to the left side. Basic pass routes, down and ends, hooks, over the middle, throwing the ball well.
Screen pass to Cooper. He'll stop the clock out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Dave Waymer was right there. So the clock shows 3:06 remaining. It's 23-6. Keep in mind the 49ers need 2 touchdowns and a field goal to tie.
The Saints are a little bit looser. They don't want to give up the big play, the quick touchdown. They're playing a little bit looser in the secondary. And also the 49ers are getting rid of the ball fairly quickly, and there's no pressure on Montana. Either the defensive line is a little bit spent right now, or the offensive protection's better.
Second down and 10. 49ers have all of their timeouts remaining, but they need a bunch of points in a short time. Nehemiah 83 wide right, and the 30-second clock has expired. So there'll be a 5-yard delay of the game call against the 49ers. And the Hardy fans, and they really are indeed Hardy, still here, shower the field with boos. Bill Walsh told us that in the first 2 games the team came out a little bit complacent, too self-assured, he told us.
He did, and he couldn't put his finger on it because they had worked pretty hard in practice, but there was something missing in that Raider game. He just didn't feel that they had that same rhythm they had the previous year when they won all those football games. The last few minutes they started losing them. They lost the Denver and the Oakland game in the last couple of seconds.
Cooper inside the 20, shy of a first down. Under 3 minutes remaining now. 49ers lining up. Earl Cooper from Rice was a first-round draft choice in his 3rd season. The wind whipping up. Heavy rains all day today. Did not rain before the game. And then all of a sudden at the start of the game started to drizzle, and it's been a downpour ever since. Jeff Moore going off the right side. Stopped by Durland Moore, the nose tackle for the Saints, and a first down for San Francisco. That's what the Candlestick Park crowd looks like.
That was an interesting call. They wanted the first down. It was 3rd and 3, but they sure ran about 20 seconds. Looking down the 2-minute warning right now. I don't know why they didn't throw the ball. They needed 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns and a field goal to at least tie the game.
23-6, New Orleans leading. With 2 minutes to go, we have our 2-minute warning, and we'll be back.
All right, maybe I wasn't the greatest player of all time, but fans, they forgive and forget. When I go in here, they'll be buying me my favorite beer, light beer from Miller.
You, Bob Uecker?
Yeah, how you doing? These fans, I love them. They know us ex-big leaguers drink light because it's less filling and it tastes great. Well, can't keep the gang waiting. The fans are always joking.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Wow, they're having a good time in there.
Next Saturday, the Wildcats, Villanova, led by senior star John Pannone, against the balanced attack of Kentucky. NCAA basketball action next Saturday on CBS Sports.
We've had our 2-minute warning. The 49ers have a 1st and 10 on the Saints' 12-yard line. But the story of this game has been written long before this time. Kenny Stabler with tremendous protection. Did not get sacked last week. Had most of the time the freedom to get the plays underway. George Rogers used sparingly today, but a big 38-yard run, setting up a touchdown. Montana, Jeff Moore, he's going to get in for the touchdown. Jeff Moore with his
Here's the blitz.
First touchdown receiving.
Here's a blitz. Montana reads it, gets it off quickly to Moore. Moore beats Robin Aaron, number 55, back to the inside for the touchdown.
So it's 23-12 now, and Wersching will try to add the 13th point. The 49ers, with 1:55 to go, need a touchdown and a field goal to tie if Wersching makes good here. He does, and it's now 23-13. So we'll see what bag of tricks Bill Walsh has in mind when we come back to Candlestick Park in a moment.
It was born over a decade ago in the finest wine-growing regions of America. It was created from the finest wine grapes that could be grown and brought to perfection by the most experienced winemakers in the world. It is the extraordinary white wine that has shared more of the best of times than any wine made. The wine, Gallo Chablis Blanc, America's premier white wine. From Ernest and Julio Gallo, all the best.
.155 to go. The Saints, anticipating possible onside kick, have their good ball handlers and receivers up front at the line. Wersching, following a 9-play, 79-yard drive, capped by Montana to Jeff Moore, kicks it deep to Jimmy Rogers at the goal line. Rogers to the 24, and all he wanted to do is to protect the football so that the Saints would maintain it. Milt McCall makes the tackle.
Well, Bill Walsh has made a decision there on the sideline.
Rogers is hurt. Jimmy Rogers is hurt.
And I would guess the decision is we can't get 2 onside kicks. They've got something set up. Maybe we'll get another one. They'll use their timeouts here, hopefully score, and then get a chance for that onside kick, because I don't understand why he didn't go for it then, except for that reasoning is the only thing.
Timeout.
Jimmy Rogers is hurt. Injury. The Saints take a timeout. 13 carries, 46 yards for Jimmy. Milt McCall on the stop and still shaken up. We'll take a timeout here. 1:49 remaining in the game.
El Dorado. It began with a simple idea. Combine the sportiness of a custom personal car with the comfort of a great luxury car. And America fell in love with it. And now its finest expression ever. El Dorado 1983. Time to fall in love again.
Best of all, it's a Cadillac.
When you're a big guy like me, people always want to see just how strong you are. So after this arm works, this arm always relaxes with light beer from Miller. The light's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer, and it tastes great. What I like about it, it's less filling. So when you're in a hot match like this, you can't afford to get filled up.
You have any time?
Yeah. About 8:30.
Yeah, thanks.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
Next.
Next Saturday, it's one of college football's greatest traditions, the Army-Navy game. Be a part of the classic next Saturday on CBS Sports.
So after kicking away and not trying for the onside, Saints have it at the 24 following the timeout for the injury to Jimmy Rogers. And George Rogers back in the game. Gets a couple of yards. That's all. After the game, Brennan Irv will decipher what it all means for you. Scores and highlights and what the conference standings are all about. If the Pittsburgh Steelers go on and lose to Seattle and they're trailing, the only unbeaten teams in the NFL will be the Washington Redskins at 4-0. Miami, they play tomorrow, they're 3-0. 10 years ago, they met in the Super Bowl. And the year after, it was Miami against Minnesota. And next Sunday on CBS, you'll see Miami and Minnesota, followed by Dallas and Washington in that big rivalry. We'll be back.
NFL's most valuable player, brought to you by Apple Computer. 1957. In his very first pro season, Cleveland running back Jim Brown leads the entire NFL in rushing and is named the league's most valuable player. Brown goes on to win a record 7 rushing titles in 8 years and retires as the game's all-time leading ground game.
My apple is my manager.
There are more people in more places doing more things with apples than with any other personal computer in the world.
Apple computer.
Produktionskontrolle ohne den Apfel? Unmöglich.
And of all these people using apples, most had never touched a computer before.
This is my apple.
Apple, the most personal computer.
Saints break from the huddle, 2nd and 7 on their 27. 1:44 remaining in the 4th period, 23-13. Saints in a surprise over the 49ers. Rodgers carries again, but all that works to the Saints' advantage here as the clock continues to run. If you want to talk about what Bum Phillips wanted to do originally, he said we have to control the ball, particularly on the ground, and they have run off 20 plays more than the San Francisco 49ers, so his plan has worked.
Well, it really has. They've also had a tremendous defensive effort. The defense has prevented Montana from getting any kind of continuity in his offense today with the mix-up, the safety blitzes, the pressure from the front three, so it's been a good day defensively also.
Army-Navy.
That's the big one.
How big is it?
Oh, boy, I tell you. There's people all over the country that's been touched one way or the other by the services.
When people talk to
Army-Navy.
you, they talk to you as much about Army-Navy as your exploits with the Cowboys since I've been with you.
Well, there's a lot of fond memories from some old Navy salts that I run into across the country, as well as classmates, that they relate to the game. A lot of people relate to the game, and it's a special, I think, atmosphere when you see those cadets and midshipmen march onto the field also.
So great rivalries next weekend, football-wise, on CBS. Army-Navy on Saturday, Dallas-Washington on Sunday, and Roger Staubach was part of both of those great rivalries. 3rd and 7 now at the 20-yard line. And here is Jimmy Rogers, who's back. He's hit hard at the 30-yard line. It'll be 4th down, and they'll have to kick it. The 49ers call timeout. Timeout called by the 49ers with 1:31 to go. Our thanks to our spotter Marty Aronoff for a fine job up here at Candlestick Park. Kenny Stabler comes back to the Bay Area and comes out in a shower of success this afternoon.
Well, they told him 2 years ago that he was 2 or 3 years ago finished. He was not going to be able to be a factor in the NFL anymore, but he showed him this year. He's came back. Bum Phillips asked him to come back. He's been very instrumental in last week's victory, this week's victory. The team has confidence in him, and he still can throw that football. Very precision passer.
He says, when we lose, I'm fat, I'm out of shape. When we win, all of a sudden, I'm in great shape, and I have a great arm and great accuracy.
I don't advocate his off-season program to anyone, but some guys can get away with it. But most guys can't, to be very frank with you.
He didn't touch a football during the strike. He came back as if he'd been playing all those weeks. Erxleben is back to punt with 1:31 to go. The 49ers, by the way, have used up their last timeout. And because of the damp football, another one is put into play.
There's a lot of health books and conditioning books that are being sold and been very successful. I don't think the Snake could write one to be successful with it.
But he's got that great accuracy. He's got a ball that's so easy to catch. What do they call it, a soft pass?
They do call it a soft pass.
Ball bounces at the 45-yard line. Erxleben's kick, and it's down at the 41. So the 49ers, who are just about out of luck and out of timeouts, will take over.
Well, the few fans that are left believe it's possible.
What? Anything is possible, especially with, of course, I think, Roger, you still must be wondering why Bill Walsh didn't go for the onside kick before.
I saw Montana pull one out when he was at Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl one year, but I think this one's all over.
1st and 10 at the 41. In motion is Jeff Moore, who caught the touchdown pass. Montana up the middle. Freddie Solomon laterals to Moore, and Frank Watlett knocks him out of bounds.
We're almost all over.
Don't renege now.
We saw this in practice the other day. Yesterday, they were in their 2-minute drill in practice, and he hits Solomon on the turn in, and there's the lateral right there, and you need another lateral. But you know what? California did it against Stanford. He did 4 or 5 laterals, he might score.
And you know, but that play is designed to go all the way.
That's right.
20-yard gain, 1:13 remaining, 10-point deficit. Can Joe Montana remember the Notre Dame days? Dwight Clark holds on to it, but that's not going to help him.
Should have dropped that one.
Waymer pins him right down. Clock continues to run, 1 minute as you see to go.
That was set up for Dwight to get out of bounds, catch it, get out of bounds, and he knew he couldn't get out of bounds. He should have dropped that football.
That last play, the reception in lateral, remember the Chargers used it. Penalty markers down, and the pass to Charlie Young. He's racing for the sidelines. He won't get there, but there's a penalty, and the clock stops with 44 seconds. Winston makes the stop on Charlie Young. You remember last year in the AFC playoff, it was Miami trailing San Diego that used that same play to get back just before the half in a game that, of course, will go down as one of the greats. And the penalty against
offside.
The 49ers 86. Offside.
5 yards, still second down.
It'll be 2nd and 13 now with that much time remaining.
They've almost got to go for the alley-oop in the end zone or something. Those defenders are back too far to hit any seam deep for the touchdown, so they've got to go for one in the end zone and get the onside kick to have a chance.
They're at the 32. They need a touchdown and a field goal. Nehemiah in motion. Montana back at his 40, going for Nehemiah. And it's out of the end zone. It was out of the end zone. Dave Waymer, the man who the 49ers said they would pick on today because they thought that the other cornerback, Johnny Poe, was more physical, and Waymer has been more than equal to the task.
Yeah, Waymer's had a great game today. He's done a good job. Recovered that fumble. Here's Nehemiah looking for the ball, trying to get it centered. There's 2 defenders back there. There's Waymer, and Waymer keeps 1 foot in bounds for the interception, but it doesn't count.
Watlett was also there. 3rd and 13, Waymer had to be disappointed with Notre Dame losing to Southern Cal yesterday in John Robinson's last game as head coach of the Trojans. But today the Saints have had it over the 49ers. 35 seconds to go. Pass is complete. Earl Cooper. No more timeouts for the 49ers. They have a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Ricky Jackson makes the tackle. 17 seconds. Watch the clock. Montana. And Freddie Solomon can't hold on to it. But the clock stops with 11 seconds to go. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 9. So what the 49ers have to do, Roger, is get that touchdown. With 11 seconds remaining. And there goes your 30-second clock. 5 yards, delay of the game.
I think the bum hasn't started celebrating over there yet, though. He's still on the sidelines.
He may be real quiet and subdued like he was with us yesterday the rest of the season because his club is going to be 3-1.
Well, he's had pressure before. He's been in conference championship games, and he's going to have a lot of this. He's worried about the team having pressure. When they're 3-1, they're going to really be talking Super Bowl.
Made the playoffs 3 times in Houston, twice reached the AFC title game. He's no stranger. Francis in motion, up the middle. Touchdown, penalty marker down. Russ Francis caught the ball and is in the end zone. 5 seconds to go, and penalty flag is down. It may be against New Orleans.
Maybe if they hadn't kicked the field goal before the half.
Defense.
Maybe.
Decline.
Penalty against the Saints. Touchdown.
Here's a good play, though. Russ Francis catches the ball in traffic and blasts his way into the end zone. Montana puts the ball on the money right here. And there's the hit. Boom. I don't know what the penalty was for. But number 49, Frank Watlett, pounded Russ Francis, and Francis scored.
Kick is good by Wershing. And it's now 23-20, 5 seconds to go. So the 49ers have to go for the onside kick, but they have no timeouts remaining.
It's a hit or miss game sometimes, but I think with 1:49 they had to go for the onside kick earlier like we talked about. But again, they had those 3 timeouts. They feel they'd get the ball back, maybe score quicker and have their chance now, but there's just not enough time. 5 seconds to go.
I'll say one thing, though, for a team that had no timeouts left, that needed 2 touchdowns and a field goal, they've really kept people hanging in with this one to the end. Don't forget, Brennan Irv coming up after the game will wrap up the day's scores. 5 seconds remain. So they need the onside kick, and what they really need, Roger, is enough of an onside kick to recover it so that Wersching can immediately try the field goal. The clock will stop should San Francisco recover the onside kick.
Wersching is really a 30 to 40 yard field goal kicker. His accuracy is there. Beyond that, he's not in range, so they need more than just recovering the onside kick.
Got the window at his back, which could be a factor, but first they've got to recover the onside kick. And right now the Saints have all their receivers up front, including Jeff Groth, who cradles the ball with 5 seconds to go, and that will be the story. And the San Francisco 49ers. And now they can celebrate over in the New Orleans side. Bum Phillips protected from the rain with that.
He's thinking about Tampa Bay right now. Yep. Tampa Bay next week, going for 4-1. That Superdome will be going crazy next week.
We'll have scores and highlights coming up in a moment. So the Saints off to the best start in their history will be 3-1, and for the San Francisco 49ers at 1-3, their work will really be cut out for them to earn a spot at least in the top 4. They still have a shot at the playoffs, but they got to win the rest of them, and that's going to do it. Final score, the New Orleans Saints defeat the San Francisco 49ers in a surprise 23-20 for Roger Staubach. Dick Stockton saying so long from Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
All right, thank you. Hey, light them up on Bourbon Street. Let's go to the
Super Bowl. Here we come, right?
Can you believe it? It looked like the 49ers had turned things around, and now suddenly the New Orleans Saints are dancing in the streets. They push their record to 3-1 as they down San Francisco 23-20. Another shocker this afternoon up the coast. The Pittsburgh Steelers not only lose, they have been shut out by Seattle 16-0. Terry Bradshaw injured his shoulder in the first half of that game. He did not return, and Cliff Stout, his replacement, served up 3 interceptions. Meanwhile, with time running out, the Chargers are going to win. They are beating the Broncos right now. 30-20 is the count in that game. The Los Angeles Rams have switched quarterbacks in the fourth quarter. It is 20-14. Burt Jones to the bench, and Vince Ferragamo now is trying to protect that 6-point Ram lead. Meanwhile, and these are all final scores, the Jets win again, 15-13 over the Packers in Shea Stadium. Both teams now are 3-1. New England against Houston this afternoon. The Patriots come away with a victory, 29-21, so they are now 2-2 on this season under their new coach, Ron Meyer. And the St. Louis Cardinals hold off Atlanta 23-20. Mick Luckhurst missed a field goal at the buzzer that would have sent it on into overtime. Both teams now are 2-2. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Colts still are winless, but someone who watched that game carefully for me said don't be misled by that score. Frank Kush is slowly bringing the Colts around, so keep an eye on that team. They were shut out this afternoon 20-0, and now Buffalo's record is 3-1. The Washington Redskins over the Philadelphia Eagles, and this one brings tears to the eyes of my colleague Irv Cross, as his favorite Eagles have gone down in flames again, so they are 1-3 now. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles... There you are, Irv. Go ahead. Tell me what happened in that game.
All right, Chris, Dick Vermeer holding on to Harold Carmichael on his sideline. Joe Theismann had a real big day, and this is the way it was all day. Charlie Brown, number 87, latching onto a long 65-yard touchdown pass there, and it was simply Joe Theismann putting the ball in the air and did a good job with it. All
right, and the Los Angeles Raiders, Irv, have lost for the same time, for the first time, I should say. 31-17 was the count there. Marcus Allen carried 8 times for 0 yards. The Minnesota Vikings over the Chicago Bears, 35-7. Tommy Kramer throws 5 touchdown passes in that game. And, of course, that wraps it up today. But a reminder, next Saturday on CBS, high noon. Irv, who do you like, the Army or the Navy?
Do I have to pick somebody?
I'll let you off the hook. Should be a great showdown. We'll see you next week. We hope you've enjoyed the NFL Today on CBS.